The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
If you don't want to go into work, don't. Call them. It's a sick day. They're going to give you the day off. You can lie. I do, and I would call in and be like, I'm not going to make it to work. I'm sorry. I got the beatboxes. Pretty bad. Oh. I can't even finish a sentence.
Peter, come on, it's time to wake up. You gotta get to work.
Lois, I ain't feeling good.
Peter, what happened to your voice?
I think I'm sick. I just threw up 2 chicken gyros out my nose.
Yeah, this is Bob. I'm not gonna make it in today. I'm not sick, I just don't give a anymore.
Boss, dude, I'm not gonna be able to come in today. I'm like in bed.
Dude, pass that.
And I just can't get up, man. Here, hit that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
Man, turn down that acid rock.
I like it. It kind of wakes me up.
That's what my dad used to holler at us when we were kids. Turn down that acid rock. And we're listening to a 1976 record from AC/DC. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the Friday show. It's the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. What a hell of a deal we got going today. Ashley didn't make it. Yeah, big surprise there.
What are we at, 20?
That's 20.
That's 20. We are 10 away from Wapple's prediction at New Year. He had a New Year's prediction that Ashley would have 30 affected days this year, and we're counting any day she's at least half hour late as an affected day. Mm-hmm. And we're up to 20.
20. That's a world record.
That's pretty good.
It's a world record. She's doing great. and as Josh said, 10 away. Before Wapple, you will be the great predictor.
Yeah.
You'll always be known for hitting that mark perfectly.
Lest anyone think we are picking on her for being sick, that's not the case. It's just kind of stunning how someone without any diagnosed condition could be gone that many days or late for some reason for that many days.
I've never seen anything quite like it in my life. Did you just call yourself Wappladamus?
Yeah. That's great.
I'm cool with that, man. I'm cool with that. So there you go. The number is 20.
I don't want her gone by any means, but I do want Wapple's prediction to come true.
Oh, yeah, I'm rooting for Wapple's prediction.
Especially because when you said it, she's like, oh, hell no.
Oh, definitely not.
No. Are you crazy, she said?
She was offended.
I won't even have 10.
Did she say that?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, that would have been good.
That would have been awesome.
Unbelievable. Yeah, we're at 20. Busy today, Cubby.
Boy, I know. Our agenda is full. We could have used her today.
Yeah, we could have. We got, of course, Randy Shaver will duck in at 7. For you, at 7:30 for you Dad Fights fans. We're taking a week off. Going to take a week off. Brad Ryder can't make it. Randy Shaver will be here at 7:30.
I forget, what's he up to? Moving a kid to college?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Driving down to Mankato, dropping the daughter off.
Oh, okay. I only know one sucker who's closing in on 50 years old, who's helping someone move this weekend.
Oh, it got worse.
Oh, no.
No, It didn't get worse.
It got worse.
See, Brad Ryder, okay, fine. You're dropping your kid off at college. That's a big moment. Cubby, I'm upset with you. If you've been listening to the show the last few days, you probably know that for some reason, Josh's stepdaughter in her early 20s can't find anybody better than her friggin' stepdad, who's near 50, Josh, to help her move. And now somehow it's gotten worse?
Am I swole? Yes. Do I understand why someone would look at me and think that's the guy I want to help me move? Of course I do. But yeah, nobody likes to move, especially the older you get.
Jesus.
And so it was Sunday, and I'm thinking, it's a work night.
Sunday's a work day.
But at least I get to sleep in a little bit, on a Sunday. So I wouldn't have woke up at 3. So I got a few hours probably I slept in. And now it's a Monday. They changed when she can move into her new place, so I have to help move on a Monday.
Oh, no.
Ashley would call in sick for that.
That should be illegal. Nobody should be allowed to move on a Monday.
This is the dumbest effing idea I've heard of in a long time. Why don't you just say no?
Well, because I love her. But I am kind of hoping that I trip over something and break a leg. Like what a compound fracture, real bad. So there's no way I could possibly help.
Is she not a very popular person? Is she not a well-liked person? Does she not have a lot of friends? Because, again, when you're in your 20s, hell, you make a couple of phone calls, you got a dozen people waiting there to help you move.
Well, we heard from young people via text, and Ashley said, I would never ask my friends to help. But she doesn't mind asking her parents.
Ashley's sick.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean like...
In more ways than one.
Loopy.
That was bizarre when Ashley said that. She's in her 20s. I'd never ask my friends to help me move. Well, what are you talking about? That's what friends are for when you're in your 20s. But anyway, I really wish you weren't involved in this.
Well, the Monday part sucks worse than
that's
than
awful.
most. Because I had asked her yesterday, hey, can we make this a Friday or Saturday thing? Or at least can I come do my part on Friday or Saturday? Not on a Sunday. It's a work night. And she said, well, actually, it's Monday now.
You continue to amaze me. You're the nicest guy in town, in the county. Nicest guy in the county. Most dads would say, absolutely not. I can't even imagine the look my dad would have given me when I was 21 years old or whatever and said, can you help me move?
I've half thought about just hiring some folks on her behalf.
Do it. You know what? I'll split the cost with you. if it means, I'm sure you'll be fine. I don't think you're going to hurt yourself, although, there's a little bit of concern. I don't think you're going to hurt yourself. I don't think that you're going to fall down a flight of steps and forget how to do radio. It's the principle of the thing more than anything that drives me to want to squash this ridiculous plan.
As Ashley might say, I walk on a treadmill every day.
A treadmill.
But that doesn't translate to the cardio I think I'm going to need.
I'll split the cost with you if you hire movers.
What kind of move are we looking at? I can't imagine, someone in the early 20s has too much stuff acquired to move.
You'd be surprised.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like a lot, boxes and boxes of clothes.
Oh,
it is a female.
That's a good point. I forget, like, in my early 20s, I had a TV, a mattress, and, a couple T-shirts.
Yeah, the only, there's like a dresser and a bed, right? Those are the big things.
Yeah.
But the rest, it's just, I mean, you would be shocked how much clothes there is.
Oh, man, a buddy of mine not the other day, because that would be wildly inaccurate. A buddy of mine, I'll say 10 years ago, moved. And this dude, God, you had to be there maybe. This dude, he's 51 years old now. And still to this day, he's got a single bed. He's got a dresser, a computer, a TV, a chair. And that's pretty much all this man possesses in his world. So 10 years ago, he's moving. And 10 years ago, it was the same thing. Single bed, dresser, some clothes, obviously, a TV, a computer, a chair. That's it. 10 years ago, he's moving. And it was the first time in a long time that he had moved. And he really didn't understand the process. He doesn't understand many common processes. He ordered a 30-foot friggin' truck, right? The dude's back in, and there he is with his single bed, little skinny mattress, the dresser, everything I already told you about. Another friend of this friend took a picture of this 30-foot friggin' moving truck, and way up in the corner, they've got tucked into the corner all of his possessions. Massive empty truck, just the front left corner, his possessions. Because he doesn't understand common things, he ordered a 30-foot truck. Now it gets better. So the movers are, what the hell is this? This is all you got? So they lock it up, they push it up to the front corner like I told you. And then the movers say to my buddy, all right, we're ready to go. And he says, hang on a second. My buddy runs over to the refrigerator and gets a half carton of milk. And he brings it over to the mover, and he extends his arm as if he's handing the mover his hat. And he goes, yeah, there's this too.
Oh, my God.
And the mover says, well, no, we don't move food.
Yeah, we don't move perishables.
And my buddy says, oh, you don't? Oh, okay. So he puts his half, that's all he has for food, a half a gallon of milk. He puts that in his car. And then the movers say, okay, we're ready to go. Where are we going? And my buddy says, there's like a holiday station over by the, you know where Hopkins High School is? And the movers are like, yeah, there's a holiday. It's over there. It's like over by Hopkins. And the driver says, you don't have the address? And my buddy says, well, no, I figure you want to just like follow me over there. I mean, that's how. It's one of my favorite moving stories. I mean, dude, and he was 40 when this happened. 40.
I was just thinking, my stepson didn't ask for any help when he moved. We helped move a couple things, but he never asked. I guess I know who the good kid is.
Yeah, this sucks. This sucks.
Thank God it's only going to be, like 115, 120 next week, so that'll be good.
Yeah, that's going to be tough, too.
All right, again, the offer's on the table. I will split the cost with you if you hire some movers.
What about the youngest son? He's able-bodied. Can't you put him to work?
He's a moron.
Not capable of moving boxes, moron?
No, and so easily distracted. He'll start eating a candle or something.
All right, squash that idea.
Ron Capps.
Bruh. That's great. You know what? It's not BIR season without Ron Capps around 93X.
Later on this morning, we're going to talk to Ron Capps about the big event at Brainerd International Raceway this weekend. I don't know how many years in a row we've talked to Ron Capps, and I don't know why we always say it that way. It's become a habit.
I thought that was a buddy of yours, or maybe I'm getting confused with a different guy.
It's a buddy of mine who that's his delivery, but we're excited to talk to Ron. He's always a fun time. I've been getting texts the last couple of days from our listeners saying, I'm already at the campground, we're in the zoo, we're at BIR, let's party our asses off. It is one of the greatest events you can ever attend. The massive nationals when the NHRA folks come up to BIR. I did it for 25 some odd years in a row. I've decided to pass the last couple of years. I don't know. I think maybe I'm a little too old for the gig now, but we're excited.
I only went about 3 times when I was much young, early 20s, and loved it. My uncle worked up there for years. And he loves it. He still goes up. I think he still volunteers to go up there now. I mean, even after he's done working there.
It's a riot. I've had
fun.
some of the best times of my life up there, so we always enjoy talking to Ron. Listen up for that later.
Well, I think they should do something classy. Maybe have a flagpole and raise one of your cutoffs, to kind of hang it in the rafters.
Oh, man.
As like a retirement,
Wouldn't that be something?
To salute you for 25 years of service up there?
That's a good idea. It's a good idea.
What do you think would happen if all of us showed up in a Prius? What would happen to us at BIR?
Drinking craft beer.
We're up there in some sort of EV just looking for some place to plug it in.
Yeah, man. I mean,
show up to a couple guys got their lifted diesel. Hey, can you help us out?
It's an interesting crowd up there.
I don't know if we'd come back alive. I love it for that reason.
Yeah. Oh, man. You guys like action movies?
Absolutely.
My favorite. Action movies and comedies are probably the only... Well, what am I saying? I like sci-fi, too.
You like action movies?
I do. I'd say that's my number one.
Do you put action movies in your mouth?
Oh, I put action movies in my mouth, yeah.
Well, then, here are the 10 best... That's not accurate. Here are the best action hero one-liners and kill quotes ever.
These are always great.
You follow what I mean by all that?
That's one of my favorite parts about him, especially the super cheesy bad puns one that, Arnold Schwarzenegger became known for. Those types of things are awesome.
For many years, the hero character always had to have a cute line that he or she would dump on the bad guy before, during, or after he wiped them off the face of the earth. So what I have here are the best, according to society, a mass amount of people with their computers. How do I say that? According to online response, the best action hero one-liners and kill quotes ever. We start with John McClane.
Of course.
From Die Hard, played by Bruce Willis with the Yippee-Ki-Yay gimmick.
Yippee-Ki-Yay, motherfucker.
All right. Josh, you watched some kind of documentary on Die Hard, didn't you? You've told me about it, like making the movie or...
Yeah, it's called The Movies That Made Us.
The Movies That Made Us. Did they ever talk about what was behind the Yippee-Ki-Yay mother effer bit?
Oh, you know what? They might have.
Really,
I can't remember if they did there. I know I've seen something on it before. One of them, either Bruce Willis or one of the people behind the movie didn't want to do it.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you were on the set of Die Hard in 1987 and you saw on the script that the hero was going to say yippee-ki-yay mother effer, wouldn't you have laughed and said, who wrote this garbage?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, and I'm sorry I don't remember the specifics, but there was someone that didn't want to do it for that reason. It just sounded so stupid, and of course it became one of the most popular lines from the movie.
How about old King Leonidas, played by Gerard Butler in the movie 3 Hondo?
This is Sparta!
There's all kinds of that style dialogue in Sparta.
Yeah.
You know, talking about dying and the pride of the Sparta. All that, it's loaded with that kind of stuff.
Have you had this happen? 300 is one of those movies where anytime it's on, I'll watch it. Sometimes I just get in the mood to watch it, and then when I do watch it, I think this isn't as good as I remember. But then I'll still watch it again.
I've watched it a couple of times. I always liked it. I like that big, giant, evil king that comes in on a throne, and he's got the
Dennis Rodman guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
I kind of root for that guy. He's kind of a prick, but I dig him for it. This is Sparta. I think in the lead up, isn't there something in there about to eat hearty, my men, because tonight we dine in hell?
Yeah.
Something like they got a lot of that action. Unbelievable. Jesse Ventura made this effing list.
Of course he did.
When he didn't have time to bleed.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
That's great.
Predator. I know you dig Predator, Josh.
Oh, it's one of my favorite movies. That's my wife's favorite movie.
Oh, he's not.
It is, yeah.
I Predator just, it never really grabbed me.
Oh, man, I'm surprised you didn't like that
And it's
that
got
much.
some of my favorite people. Carl Weathers.
I was so scared of the Predator. He was terrifying.
I ain't got time to bleed.
I think it was Hulu that had a Predator movie recently.
That
maybe
sounds
it was
right,
called
yeah.
Prey.
Yeah.
That was good. I like that one.
I was going to say the original Predator, my favorite scene is just the all-time greatest handshake high five in movie history.
Oh, yeah.
Schwarzenegger, he sees Carl Weathers and he goes, Dylan! And then they go up and just the huge bicep just boom together.
For whatever reason, they decided to close up on the sweaty arms locking together. That's become like a meme thing over the years. Some of these other great hero lines from movies. Never saw it. Blade with Wesley Snipes.
Oh, well, maybe you wouldn't like that. I loved Blade.
I love Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, me too.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
Is that Wesley Snipes talking?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like him at all.
No.
Some mother effers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
I got to be honest, I don't remember that at all.
I don't either.
movie.
When I was getting that, I was like, I don't remember this line at all.
Of course, you got Dirty Harry.
You've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk?
Oh, those were great movies.
That's one that's misquoted all the time.
Yeah.
Where people just say, do you feel lucky, punk?
Yeah. From the Dirty Harry movie. What was that? Jesus. 77, 78, something like that. Mm-hmm. Never saw it. Keanu Reeves in The Matrix.
My name is Neo.
It sounds like he says Neil.
That's what I thought too.
I never noticed. Actually, you always watch it and you see him pronounce it and you know his name. Neo, not Neil.
It's not Neil?
No, it's
N-E-A-L,
Neo.
like Neil Broughton?
N-E-O, no.
This is Neil from accounting.
I know you guys like that Keanu Reeves character. You Matrix, you dig it?
I like the first one, the second couple, and the newest one. I didn't understand the second and third one for the life of me.
Yeah, I got confused as
I'm
well.
not smart enough for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, that's how it was for me. There's a few movies where I liked it enough, but I didn't really get it.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to ask because I didn't want to feel stupid. Even though I'm guessing all my buddies didn't understand it either, they just pretended.
Yeah.
As we're covering the great hero kill lines from movie history, next up is one of the greatest characters in movie history with one of the greatest lines in movie history. I'll stand by that comment, by God I will. And that's Mandy Patinkin playing Inigo Montoya in The Princess Bride.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
I get choked up, man.
I know
that movie is a perfect movie, in my opinion. It's got everything.
I know it's kind of a kid's movie, but
we used to watch the balls off of that.
All I wanted the entire movie was for Inigo Montoya to run into that left-handed man or whatever it was, the man with 8 fingers. What I can't remember.
Six-fingered man.
I could not wait for him to kill that guy.
Me too.
I love Inigo Montoya.
He was a prick.
RoboCop, played by Peter Weller.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
One of the greatest films ever created. I would do anything for RoboCop.
We've mentioned it before, but the process of him becoming RoboCop, or what happens to him as to why they have to, that was one of the more violent scenes at that point in my life I had ever witnessed in a movie.
You'll remember it forever.
Yeah.
And that's one of those movies, too, that my older cousin was watching it, and I was way too young to be seeing that, and that was a little traumatizing.
Yeah, you're talking about the opening scene.
Yeah.
Where he
Uh-huh.
gets his arms blown off, his legs blown off, his chest is blown out, his eyeballs come out.
Yeah, I was pretty sheltered as a kid, and that shocked me.
Right. Just kind of like, can we put cartoons back on?
Man, RoboCop changed me forever. And
I wish we had that statue here, the RoboCop statue they have in Detroit.
They have an actual statue?
Yeah. It's moved around a couple times.
I will. I'll always stand by RoboCop. Oh, come on with this. Great hero kill lines from movies. Stop it with the Independence Day. Go ahead with the Independence.
Welcome to Earth.
Stupid. Stupid Will Smith. Stupid movie. Oh, you knew Sly was going to show up in here, Cubby.
He should be all of them.
From Cobra.
You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
You're the disease, and I'm the cure, he said in Cobra. Not one of my favorite Sly movies.
I was just going to ask, so I loved it, but I only saw it once. I'm wondering if I rewatched it, if
it's awful.
I feel the same way. Is it pretty bad?
It's pretty awful, yeah. I'm not crazy about that one. Ripley from Aliens, outstanding stuff.
Get away from her, you bitch!
And that sets up that awesome showdown between Ripley, what's her name again? Ripley and the alien. That is one awesome
As
scene.
she's in, like, the robotic thing taking it on, too.
Dude.
Yeah, that was cool.
Absolutely. Perfectly done, the movie Aliens. Perfect. One of the few perfect movies out there, if you Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse.
Be nice. If you won't walk him, but be nice. If you can't walk him, one of the others will help you, and you'll both be nice. I want you to be nice until it's time to not be nice.
I'm surprised they didn't put the pain don't hurt as the line out of there.
Yeah. When he's visiting that scorching hot doctor. She's stitching him up. What do we got as we rip through more hero kill lines from movies? What's his name again? Harrison Ford from the movie. What's the movie?
Air Force One.
Air Force One, about the plane.
Get off my plane.
Yeah.
That was cool.
It was cool.
Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Oh, yeah. And then he fights Darth Vader with the lightsabers. Is that right?
He does.
The Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Hasta la vista, baby.
When does he... What's that a setup for? What does he do? Does he kill someone right there?
It's been so long.
God, yeah, I'm trying to remember. I know like the I'll be back is when he goes and gets a car and rams it through the front door.
Oh, wait a minute. Hasta la vista, baby. That's from Terminator 2.
Yeah, it's Terminator 2.
Sorry. That's where I got lost.
So, wait, the I'll be back, I thought he was like talking to some dude behind a counter.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. And then obviously they said I'll be back a million other times.
Yeah. But I think the first one is when he said it to the guy behind the counter, then he comes
that was the first one.
crashing through the windows.
And he tears up the cop shop. All right. Yeah, I mean, Terminator, great. The first two are great. Schwarzenegger.
Those are the only two I saw.
Schwarzenegger was terrific in his day. Wow, Wapple. Rowdy Roddy Piper ends up in the report here from his movie They Live.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Stop it with that.
I've never seen the movie, and that's the only line from it.
I haven't either, but I've quoted that many, many times.
Yeah, I watched it when it came out. I think I was a 9th or 10th grader. I have very vague memories of They Live, starring Roddy Piper. Rambo, I mean, my damn. We could do an entire report on sweet lines from the Rambo movie series, but this is where they went with it. Sly Stallone from First Blood, Rambo Part 1.
I could have killed you. Been telling you the law. Out here, it's me. Don't push it. Don't push it, I'll give you a war you won't believe.
Is that when he's he's choking Brian Dennehy out?
Dennehy, yep.
It's been a long time. I thought if you're going to talk Rambo, I thought as far as great lines, although this is specifically kill lines or hero lines, I thought they'd go with the end of First Blood, where his sergeant Troutman says, what do you want, John? And he says, I want what every other guy who came over here to spill his guts wants. For my country to love me as much as I love it.
That was cool.
That was...
It was a cool line.
William Wallace, how do you call it, Braveheart?
For one chance, just one chance, to come back here and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
Well, that was a good movie.
Iron Man, Tony Stark.
Oh,
Robert Downey Jr. From one of the Iron Man movies, I don't know. I saw the first one. I don't know which one this came from. He says simply, I am Iron Man.
I am Iron Man, yeah.
Maximus from Gladiator.
Oh, cool movie.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, loyal servant to the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
That's badass.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that's my favorite movie of all time.
Oh,
no, it is not.
Absolutely love it.
What about the Blues Brothers?
I like that movie way more. Like, I love that, Kingdom of Heaven, King Arthur. I love all those movies.
Yeah, I like that kind of stuff. Were you entertained?
Yeah. I was
entertained.
Yeah, he says.
Entertained.
He was entertained.
I'll give Phoenix Rivers. What's the guy's name? The
Joaquin?
bad. I'll
Joaquin
give
Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix all the credit in the world.
Oh, he was so killable.
I hated that son of a bitch and wanted him dead from the first time I laid eyes on him in that movie.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
I was lucky enough to get to go to Rome once, and I got to tour the Colosseum, and I kept acting like I thought that they actually filmed the movie Gladiator there. And the tour guide was getting so annoyed with me.
So they didn't film anything then?
Apparently not.
You went to Rome, huh?
I did, yeah.
If we're talking heroes and hero lines, of course we have to include the ultimate greatest heroes in movie history, and that's the Team America World Police.
Terrorize this.
A little tough to hear, but she said, hey, terrorist, terrorize this.
Every time I see this, and I watch it as often as I can, I get chills every time. And it's Doc Holliday saying, I'm your Huckleberry.
I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your Huckleberry.
Kill Johnny Ringo and do it right effing now. I hated Johnny Ringo.
Yeah, another guy who wanted to die immediately.
I loved it when, what's his nuts again? Swami Samsonite. What's the actor's name?
Val Kilmer?
Val Kilmer shows up. Doc Holliday. Isn't that great stuff, Josh?
Awesome.
Tombstone.
Just watched that not too long ago.
I can watch it every day.
I love the parodies people do, like when he's dying at the table. Like
Who's dying at the table?
He's coughing up all the blood.
Saturday Night Live.
He's coughing up the blood.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live just did a bit on that.
I saw that. That was horrible.
It was.
I'm still good.
Yeah, that was gross.
You're throwing up blood.
Just a hilariously over-exaggerated amount of blood.
And, Doc, are you all right? I'm fine. I'm fine.
Why? Why are you asking?
I'm not trying to be nitpicky here, but if Tombstone's one of those movies you could grab 100 great lines from that movie. Badass, hero lines.
Yeah, the hell's coming with me.
That's the one that also grabs me every time.
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell with the whole, tell your friends that the law's coming. I'm coming, and hell's coming with me. Every time it gets me. Mm-hmm. What do we got here? As far as, come on with this. Why did they include Crocodile Dundee?
He's got a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
I like Crocodile Dundee. I like what's
I did too.
Did he die? Paul Hogan? Is he still alive?
I don't think he did he?
I don't know. But that's stupid. The movie was mostly stupid. But
no, he's alive.
He's alive, yeah.
He's 83.
Wow.
And if Cobra's the Stallone movie I never got into, and I already mentioned I never really got into Predator with Schwarzenegger. If there's another Schwarzenegger movie that never grabbed me, it's friggin' Commando. But yet here is the character John Matrix from Commando.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's right, Major. You did.
I lied.
It's silly. The whole movie's just silly.
That's one I haven't seen, and I can't believe I haven't seen it because I love Schwarzenegger.
And you know, these lists could go on and on and on, and this is just a small idea of all of the entries that social media put forth on the topic of great kill lines, great hero lines from movies. We could do this all day. I haven't checked our text messages yet, but I'm sure there's many of you saying, don't forget this and don't forget that, and what about this? I hate to pile on, but if we're talking about movies with great badass hero kill lines, I would like The Unforgiven to be recognized, and Clint Eastwood's performance in that movie. He has many of those moments. I mean, when he walks into the bar after his buddy Ned has been murdered, and he said, "Who's the guy that runs this hole?" You know, you know the scene I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Y'all fellas better back out of the way if you don't want to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
I love that stuff. You be William Money out of Missouri, killer of women and children. And he says, "That's right. I've killed women and children. I've killed just about everything that walks or crawls at one time or another. And I'm here to kill you, little Bill, for what you did to Ned." It's a hell of a thing, killing a man. You take away all he's got and all he's ever going to have. That movie should be recognized. Well, you are a cowardly son of a bitch. You just shot an unarmed man. He should have armed himself if he's going to decorate his saloon with my friend. I'm giving myself chills over here. I'm such a great actor.
That's one of my favorite lines.
You like that one?
I love that line.
Wapple? What about, say hello to my little friend? Inglourious Bastards? Got some great stuff in there.
Oh, sure. The dialogue in that movie is awesome.
So there you go. Are there any great hero movies today?
I don't know. I don't think
Lately,
of.
I mean, there's a lot of, obviously, superhero movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around.
If you like all the movies that we just talked about, I'm to risk sounding like a nerd here. I'm reading a book called The Last Action Heroes: The Triumphs, Flops, and Feuds of Hollywood's King of Carnage. It's all about the 80s, you know.
The action movie surge in popularity.
Right, and they kind of, you have a chapter on each. You know, they go through Arnold and Sly and Bruce Willis and Jean-Claude. It's a good read.
Say the title again.
The Last Action Heroes: The Triumphs, Flops, Feuds of Hollywood's Kings of Carnage.
Yeah, they hated each other, right?
Yeah, that's the interesting part, is how big of a rivalry it all really was.
Yeah, they were all kind of big, giant children who couldn't stand if the other action actor got more attention than they were getting.
Exactly.
That's good stuff.
Oh, yeah, and Schwarzenegger's, on Netflix, the documentary on his life, he mentions that, how he and Sylvester Stallone's in it as well, you know, talking about this. How they were very tuned in as to what the other guy was doing.
Hey, Josh, say this to me. Say, "I don't deserve this, to die like this. I was building a house." Say it to me.
Okay. "I don't deserve this, to die like this. I was building a house."
Deserves got nothing to do with it. Now say, "I'll see you in hell, William Money."
"I'll see you in hell, William Money."
Yeah. There you go. It's Tombstone. I'm sorry, The Unforgiven. Like I was saying, we got plenty to do today with Randy Shaver swinging by and Ron Capps, who's up in Brainerd. We'll take a break. Be right back on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Are you currently enjoying the show on the Stitcher app? Then you need to know Stitcher is going away on August 29th. Yep. Going away, as in kaput, gone, dead. Rest in peace, Stitcher, and thanks for 15 years of service to the podcast community. So switch to another podcast app and follow this show there. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, looking forward to it. Looking forward to the Friday edition of the Stupid News. How about we begin, my old pal Cubby, with a dude in Georgia who is a... It's really what you want to be. A wanted man.
Ooh, nice.
What
Rat.
band? Rat. What year?
1984.
What record?
Out of the cellar.
Track 1, side 1. You know that record went platinum 3 times. A wanted man. But likely not a brilliant man. From Georgia. Got arrested for applying for a job at the Arkansas Police Department. How could you think that's a good idea? This is great.
Or maybe he thought it was even a better cover. You know?
Sure.
Like, oh, they'll never look at me.
If somehow
I'm
I can.
a cop.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't think of that. Maybe
or
he's
an
not,
employee of some sort. I don't know if he's going to be a cop.
He was applying to be a cop.
Yeah, I thought they just said an employee, but maybe it was an officer. But
maybe he's not as stupid as I thought. I
think you're probably still pretty stupid.
But let's say your theory is correct. He's on the run. If he applies to be a cop and gets hired, yeah, who's ever going to look for him there? But anyway, here's the deal.
I mean, they do pretty thorough background checks to be a police officer.
They do. This is a 24-year-old kid, don't you know? He goes by the name of Justin Carter. He went ahead and applied for a job to be a cop while he was hiding out from the law in South Carolina. We're covering a lot of ground here. He's wanted in Georgia. He's hiding out in South Carolina. He is applying to be hired as a cop in Arkansas. The Southeastern Conference is well represented here for you college football fans. I don't know. Maybe he's brilliant or he's completely oblivious to common sense. He showed up in person to the police station in Arkansas to take the effing preliminary physical fitness test to become a police officer. That's incredible. The police naturally look into his background, and they found out he was on the run from the law in the state of Georgia. He was a wanted man. This is cute. The cops in Arkansas, how cold-blooded is this? They allowed this kid to perform the physical fitness test and then took him into custody.
Yeah, give him a little misery.
Yeah, they had to have been holding in their laughs as this kid is cranking out as many push-ups and sit-ups as he possibly can. He's thinking he's got the job, and then they slap the cuffs on him. Following his arrest, this dumbbell here, what did I say his name was? Justin Carter. He's awaiting transportation back to Georgia. I'm here to apply to be a police officer. Oh, you are. They already know he's on the run. Well, first you have to take the physical fitness test. Come on. I think I missed this part, but I can bring it into the story now. I think they took him out to a track, like a high school track.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Just put him through hell.
He's doing up downs.
Yeah.
He's 50-yard dash. I don't know how he could have thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, you want to give. We like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're not as dumb as they appear, but in this case, I think this guy's pretty darn dumb.
I hear you.
I mean, give a fake name or something.
Yeah. The stupid news has ruined naked men for me. For many years, naked men were one of my favorite things, but years of covering the stupid news segment here in our radio program has ruined my taste for naked men, because every time a naked man shows up in the stupid news, The sumbitch is up to no good.
I remember when I first met you, you would go to gym to ask for a membership discount if you only were able to go to the locker room. That's the only part of the facilities he wanted to use.
He's been in there for 7 hours. What do we do?
In the old days, before we started doing the stupid news, when someone would say, a naked man, I'd say, go on. Now, I don't want to hear about it. They're always up to no good.
We used to do a bit in the locker room in middle school, or somebody would be like, oh my God, that kid's naked. And then people would kind of like start looking around, like instinctively, like, why are you looking around, man?
Hey, man, you busted him like that, huh?
Yeah, we had that at our school with someone's fly being down.
Oh, yeah.
Why are you looking at their crotch, dude?
So every time it seems that the naked men are up to no good, like this guy over here, in effing Phoenix, Arizona. A dude with the name Eugene Shelton, and he ain't no kid. He's 68 years old. He's facing multiple charges after police say he broke into a random house while naked. There were several children in the house, which is perfect. That's just great. And when the cops got him and asked him what the hell gives, he went ahead and told the cops he broke into the house because an alligator was chasing him. And I bet you the cops never saw an alligator in pursuit of old Eugene here. F me running. When the cops drove up on the house, there's Eugene. He's laid out naked on the driveway. The confused homeowner with all the kids inside is standing there next to naked Eugene. And Eugene said, quote, alligators are after me. And then he fought the cops for a while. I was just saying the other day, fighting filthy naked guys has got to be one of the worst things a cop can go through. And hell, there's more here. When Eugene originally showed up, D-swinging, there were no adults. I came off French there. There were no adults in the house. The kids up in there, the youngest is 9, the oldest is 17. They fought his ass when Eugene shows up and he tries to push open the door. They hit him with an iron upside the head.
Ooh, that would hurt.
But he still got in the house. The kids called their dad. He comes racing home to find a near 70-year-old naked man in the house on the couch in the living room wearing only socks. These kids were pretty brave.
They definitely were brave.
Can I tell you one more thing about Eugene? He smokes methamphetamines.
Could have figured.
Yep.
Possibly part of this, maybe? Maybe that's why he saw an alligator.
He also told the cops he thinks dogs are chasing him.
It's probably more realistic than alligators.
In Phoenix?
Oh, never mind.
Can you imagine that, Josh, when you were 12, 13 years old, you're sitting at home with your brother and sister, and next thing you know, a 68-year-old naked man's trying to force the front door open?
My prayers have been answered.
Oh!
You're right, though. You take the beauty of a naked man.
Yes.
And with all these stories, it just, they're naked. That means it's insanity, complete insanity.
Yeah.
We've had 2 homes broken into, and which is weird because we have nothing good. But we've had 2 homes broken into. If I knew they were nude, it would concern me more.
Yeah.
Like I'd feel a little more violated.
Oh, absolutely. All right. We've been talking here now and again about those godforsaken driverless cars. Would we climb into one of those pigs and go riding around town? We've even discussed whether or not we'd go ahead and have sex in a driverless car. Although we never covered whether or not we'd have sex with a driverless car. Maybe we'll get to that at another time.
We've had those stories in the stupid news.
Yeah.
Tailpipe pumpers.
The tailpipe or the gas tank. You pull the lid off your gas receptacle.
I also remember one where the guy kind of got his legs underneath the front of the car and said he would just kind of upward thrust.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's better than Dana at Mario Kart, Jesus. He's got an idea. He said, you know what my brother and I would have done if we saw a naked man break into our house? We would have hit him with a double clothesline.
Oh, man. When those are well executed, that's awesome to see.
You're going to be down for a while, maybe even a 3 count. All right, so the driverless cars. Here's what I've got for you this time. And maybe you've heard this rhetoric before. Supporters of driverless vehicles say the cars promise a future with less congestion and pollution, fewer accidents resulting from human error, and better mobility for people with disabilities.
When we were talking about the last time, people who are into this technology text in and said those same things.
Okay.
Exact same things, that those are the positives.
And that's all nicey nice. Don't get me wrong, but the driverless car, being relatively new, is still working out the kinks. On Tuesday in San Francisco, a driverless car somehow drove smooth into a city paving project and got stuck in wet concrete. The picture is pretty cute.
It is funny.
A fella named Paul there in San Francisco, he took the picture of the car after it had plopped itself down into the wetness of the fresh concrete. The front wheels are dug in pretty deep, and if you ask me, the best part of the picture is the concrete worker man standing there in his reflective orange vest wondering what the hell just happened.
Really? That took me hours.
Yeah,
Now
I was
gotta
just
do
gonna.
it again.
I was just gonna ask. Maybe people who do this for a living can text in 651-989-9393. I in a previous job, we would work with concrete every once in a while, and I could tell you there was no more anger on the job ever than when we're doing that. Everybody's yelling at each other. You got a limited amount of time. Don't screw this up. So many swear words I hadn't even heard, combinations of swear words I'd never heard up until that point. So much anger. I can't imagine going through all that work and then something like this happens.
Yeah. Josh, can you believe this? During my landscaping days, we would also occasionally do concrete, and they didn't let me anywhere near it.
You couldn't even bring a wheelbarrow over or nothing?
Well, yeah, I mean, that kind of stuff. Once they were doing the actual work, they're like, go shovel the rocks down.
There was also a lot of cream jokes, by the way, when we were doing that. So that added a little levity.
Yep.
This clown-ass incident with the driverless car doing a cannonball into wet concrete, it happened just days after California regulators agreed to expand driverless taxi services in San Francisco, despite the safety concerns of local officials and community activists. Yeah, we talked about that. We mentioned that ever since they launched these driverless taxis, everyone in town is climbing in the damn things and banging each other's brains loose. A lot of sex happening in the driverless taxi. City officials aren't exactly sure yet what caused this here driverless rig to slap down into the concrete and ruin the day of the poor bastard there in the orange vest. There were construction cones in place. There were workers with flags at each end of the block. No one was injured, but again, the dude in the orange vest was probably a little late to happy hour after that gong show. So, this is more reason why city officials aren't yet entirely sold on the idea of empty cars rolling up and down the street. Word is these cars have been driving onto fire hoses when the fire department's trying to do something or another.
That'll piss them off.
Yeah. Apparently last Friday in San Francisco, as many as 10 driverless cars just upped and stopped working right near a music festival, causing a big old traffic jam ski. And the firefighter incident, Josh, where it was parked on top of a hose, it didn't move until a fireman, I guess, had to beat the piss out of the car, break the windshield before the car finally reacted to what
I was just going to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also like it when the firefighters catch someone, parking in front of a hydrant.
Yeah.
And they just bust the windows and go right through.
Yeah.
That's absolutely hilarious.
Love that move.
Now, this is kind of creepy. And it probably will remind you of a couple of sci-fi movies you've seen. One dude involved in the driverless car movement, he said more or less about these driverless cars, doing the wrong thing. He said, more or less, yeah, this sucks. that these accidents are happening, but he says, give it time. The cars are, quote, learning.
Yikes.
Like in the movie War Games, starring Matthew Broderick and Ali Sheedy and Dabney Coleman. Remember when the computer learned
Yes, that's
how
the scary part.
Would you like to play a game?
I just rewatched that not too long ago.
Why wouldn't you? I love
it was
that
on
movie.
Cable. Wasn't as good as I remembered.
There was a time when Dabney Coleman was in a movie once a week.
Seemed that way.
He was in a new Dabney Coleman. You want to know how more of our listeners would handle a naked man coming to their door when they were teenage kids? You want to hear more about that?
Absolutely.
One listener says if a naked man ever walked into my house when I was a kid, he'd hear these words: Devon, get the tables.
Guy just goes crashing through the kitchen table. Mom comes home. What the hell happened, boys? Well, you see.
Well, the problem is, though, first you got to get that naked man up in that power bomb position. You're probably going to get balls in a place where you don't want to get balls.
Yeah, I don't want to be that guy lifting him up.
Another listener says if a naked man would have walked into his home when he was a teenage kid, he would have said, "Two can play that game, sir." You call that naked? I'll show you naked. All right. Speaking of driving, cars and such, if you like the dummy riding in the passenger seat in order to bone the rules of the express lane, then this one here, again, is for you. This time some gal in Boston dressed up a mannequin and threw it into shotgun. State troopers pounced on it. The picture's cute. Tell me if you agree, Josh. The mannequin is wearing kind of badass Dale Earnhardt Sr. looking sunglasses.
Yeah, he's got his hood up and
ball cap on. This gal isn't the first to try it. She won't be the last. The State Police Association of Massachusetts, man. They said on Facebook, let this post serve as a reminder that the HOV lane is reserved for vehicles with 2 or more human passengers. Mannequins, dogs, and imaginary friends don't count, is what they said. Did any one of us have an imaginary friend?
No. What's that? I didn't want to say it on the radio. Well, because it would be embarrassing. Okay, fine. I do have an imaginary friend. I currently have an imaginary friend. And I just learned if you deny it, they get a little pissy.
All right.
Oh, man, it's going to be a rough week with you and your buddy. You're going to have to smooth this over.
I'd like to learn this imaginary friend's name, if in fact he or she's comfortable with that.
McLovin.
McLovin.
Yeah, it's a real name.
Is he an organ donor by chance from Hawaii?
He is from Hawaii.
Wow.
All right, here's what's up. Here's what's hip. Wedding tattoos are a thing now. Because why wouldn't you want to put something permanent on your body to commemorate something that's likely not going to be permanent?
Yeah, Dana.
True. Yeah, usually it's just the bride and groom making that drunken mistake, which will cost thousands of dollars and years of pain to undo.
Remind me of your wedding tattoo?
I just have my wife's. It wasn't a wedding day tattoo. It was a Christmas present after our wedding. I got her initials tattooed on my ring finger.
Oh, yeah. One of my best friends did the same damn thing.
Wait, she gave that to you for Christmas? Her initials?
I gave it to her.
Oh,
So you said
it was
maybe-
like a, hey, look.
You gave her the finger.
Yeah.
Has it worn completely off?
I mean, it's supposed to be an HB. It looks like an HR at this point. And
Yeah.
it's because they say these finger ones, you either got to get them touched out or they're going to blow out. So
My pal had the same problem. He's still married, unfortunately.
Poor guy.
But he tattooed his wife's initials on his ring finger, and then the ring eradicated the tattoo. Now it just looks like someone spilled ink on his hand.
Yep.
I'm not a jewelry guy, and I had asked my wife when we got married if she'd mind if I didn't wear a ring. I mean, for no other reason than I just didn't think I could pull it off, right?
Yeah.
That didn't go over very well.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason why I did it, because I knew I wasn't going to want to wear the ring very often, not because I was being shady about it, but...
Right, same here.
So I just thought I'd get something like this so I could avoid wearing the ring and still,
And she was cool with it?
Oh, yeah. She loved it.
I had asked if there's any people who work with concrete, how pissed they'd be if a car drove into there. And Concrete Foreman Jesus said she would blow that sumbitch to pieces.
Oh.
After working that hard to get that done.
Well, here's where I'm going with wedding tattoos. What I mean is couples who are in search of a unique wedding experience, which annoys me just to say that out loud. They're hiring tattoo artists to come to their receptions. And the tattoo artist will set up shop with a little table and a this and that. And they'll dump a tattoo on the wedding guests if you want one. They'll dump a tattoo on the couple themselves. Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, I hadn't ever heard of this before. So
Well,
I'm
that's
assuming-
just because it's a unique wedding experience that you have not been privy to just yet.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd get a tattoo at a wedding.
No.
Or just an impromptu. Well, I wasn't planning on getting a tattoo today.
Yeah. But then imagine, too, like you're in a suit, so you want to get something on maybe your arm, so you're undoing your dress shirt at the reception.
And I hope there's more than just one tattoo artist. That line could be kind of long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so TikTok's been talking about this. People are saying it's not sanitary. Some love the idea. Some are like our gal Smashley, who today officially has missed her 20th day of work in the year 2023, 10 away from Wapple's prediction at the beginning of the year. Here's a lady commenting on this who's a lot like Smashley, where she says, "Oh, the random amount of tattoos I would leave that wedding reception with. OMG."
I do have friends that definitely take advantage because they're the type of people who, I think we've talked about these in tattoo parlors. They either have like a wheel you can spin, or you put a quarter in and you get like a little bubble comes out and it's got a piece of paper, the design, and that's the tattoo you get.
See, the thing is, with tattoo removal being a common thing now, what's the fear of getting a tattoo you don't like? I try to bust people's chops about their tattoo recklessness, but my smart-ass comments don't mean as much anymore because a tattoo is no longer a permanent thing.
Oh, it's expensive and incredibly painful. I mean, it costs more than the tattoo by far.
Definitely.
I mean, Dana's got just the initials.
Yeah.
And what did they want to charge you to get rid of it?
They quoted me, I think they were hustling me because they quoted me like a couple $1,000s. And I said, well, the tattoo itself costs $40. Like, I'm fine with it. It's not like I'm heartbroken. I think they were thinking of some heartbroken, Joey walking in there like, I just want to get rid of this. So after they quoted me a couple $1,000s, she goes, well, we recently had a sale that ended. Let me go see if I can get you that sale price.
Oh, really?
And then she comes back and she's like, good news. My boss says we can give you the sale price of $500. But no, Josh, you're right. I've seen people do it or have it done, the removal. It's painful and just the smell, too, because you're basically just burning skin.
I've had it started, but I haven't finished, so it looks even more ridiculous.
Yeah.
But don't you think just knowing that there's such a thing as tattoo removal, young people are reckless about it now more so than ever because they just think, well, if I don't like it in 10 years, I'll get it removed.
Mm-hmm. Possibly.
Yeah. All right, one more. I'm not trying to be a dick here, but I'm a little burned out on all the silly, sarcastic social media arguments that everyone seems to pounce on. It wears on me. You know the gimmicks. Is a hot dog a sandwich? That kind of a thing. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but now folks are taking sides on if pickles are real or not.
I do think this is kind of funny. How stupid some of these get.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When it comes to social media nonsense, don't get me wrong. I'll take this conversation over any more hilarious Harambe material.
But hey, it's not political, right? That's good.
That is a good thing. Here's the deal. People are finding out that some major brands of pickles, like Clausen and Vlasic, don't use the word pickle anywhere on their labeling. So they're going down this route. Are pickles even real?
I had checked we are pickle fans in our household, and I had checked because I thought, well, no, it says pickles on there. It doesn't say pickles on there.
It says kosher spears, right?
Yeah, spears or chips.
Yeah, it says here nowadays they what's the word I'm looking for? They decipher what it is: a chip, a spear. What are the other options? A whole, of course, a whole pickle. They're a quarter pickles
and half pickles.
Yeah, a quarter pickle. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a quarter pickle.
Isn't a quarter a spear, though?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Maybe in different parts of the world they call it a spear, and in other parts they call it a quarter. Wapple, they rip off your line from your pizza ad here. Someone online called this a really big dill.
Yeah, you can't do that. You're going to have to owe QC Pizza some money.
So there you go. If you want to be a cool, hip 16-year-old, get online and argue whether or not pickles are real.
I think the gist is pickling is the process. So
right.
That's the thing. It's technically a pickled cucumber.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that stuff. I hate it.
Tell the people at QC Pizza they got to change it to pickled cucumber pizza.
That really flows.
Just make your reads easier.
Yeah, a lot easier. Thanks, QC.
Yeah, there you go.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
I feel like Madden has a good tell of how good players are, so I just play Madden the night before, and I go look at all their ratings. Let's say, for instance, they had Steve Nelson and Derek Stingley over there, 2 phenomenal players, by the way. I just go get on Madden, I go to the EA rosters, then I scroll down and see what their awareness is, their speed is, and that's how I get a good tell on them.
Who's that now?
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, so
why does that name ring a bell?
Wide receiver, pretty incredible guy.
Oh, for the Miami Dolphin?
He mentions that it's not so much game film that really makes him learn about his opponent. The night before games, he checks out their Madden ratings.
Oh, sure. I've heard of baseball players doing that too. There was a pitcher who said the night before a start, he will play himself in, what do they call the game for baseball?
2K or the show?
The show, maybe?
MLB, the show, whatever.
The
Yeah,
show,
sure.
yeah. Excuse me.
Did he say the name Daryl Stingley?
Well, now I already forgot. I could play it again for you.
For you older folks, Daryl Stingley was paralyzed in a football game in the 70s by an Oakland Raider with the name of Jack Tatum. I swear to God, is there another NFL player named Daryl Stingley?
I feel like Madden has a good tell of how good players are, so I just play Madden the night before, and I go look at all their ratings. Let's say, for instance, they had Steve Nelson and Derek Stingley over there, 2 phenomenal.
Derek Stingley. It brought me back to one of the most horrible moments in NFL history. You know the Jack Tatum. Everybody, nobody have any idea what I'm talking about?
I've heard of it, yeah.
They've talked about it quite a bit.
Sorry,
after
I blew
the
up.
Hamlin stuff,
Oh, they did?
Yeah, running down some of the other things that have happened.
I'm sorry I blew up. I thought for sure I heard him say Daryl Stingley. You know how we had a story in the Stupid News where there's a bunch of young kids at a house and suddenly a naked man is at their door trying to force his way in, and the kids had tried to keep him back, but they could.
Ding dong, wiener.
Yeah. And people were texting in saying what they would do when they were kids if a naked man would have come to the door. Got a text from Pickle Rick where he said whenever a naked man showed up at our house when we were kids, we just always let Dad in the door. We couldn't.
It's his house.
It reminds me of that old joke. You know the old joke, Josh, where a guy's sitting at his neighborhood bar and an older guy comes in and sits down next to him, and the older guy says to the guy at the bar, "I bang your mother. Bang her brains out." And the guy ignores the older man, and then the older man a minute later says, "I do things to your mother that you don't even see in porno movies." And the guy says, "Dad, go home, you're drunk." You know what I'm going to go ahead and get involved in tonight, Cubby?
What's that now?
I'm going to go out to the ball game.
Oh, nice.
Twins are playing at Target Field. It's the first of a 3-game series between the Twins and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Can I ask a favor?
Yes.
Will you bring me home the Star Wars t-shirt they give out tonight?
Oh, I forgot it's Star Wars night.
Yeah.
Well, I think I got to get there early.
To get one?
What's the rule on the Star Wars t-shirt?
Well, yeah, it's first come, first served, right?
I'll try to get there early enough.
No, don't you worry about it.
If they hand me a Star Wars t-shirt, I will then hand it to you on Monday.
That'd be pretty sweet.
I got enough Star Wars material at home. Twins and Pirates, game time, they're saying, is around 7 o'clock tonight. If you're not going to be at the ball game along with me, you can tune in to Bally Sports to watch her live. I'm going to make a bold call tonight. Is everybody listening?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pablo Lopez is going to throw a no-hitter tonight.
Whoa.
It's a big call.
You heard it here
That'd be
first.
awesome.
You heard it here first. Pablo Lopez will no-hit the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight. After tonight, they're going to call him Pablo No-No. Remember who said this to you. Randy Shaver will join us in a half hour. Josh's News is next.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Introducing Rich Valdez, America at Night. the podcast.
Welcome to the Conversation Familia.
A perfect blend of news and entertainment, interviews and insights.
It's really just an expose on how messed up things are.
America's nighttime town hall whenever you want.
It's a huge problem that deserves a lot more attention.
Rich Valdez, America at Night. Follow the podcast wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
I would have ever in a million years imagined happening to my mom. Like, it doesn't feel real. It feels like a bad dream.
A Georgia man is accused of shooting his neighbor because she asked him to lower his music. 51-year-old Alejandro Morales allegedly shot his neighbor at their apartment complex Sunday after she and her husband knocked on the man's door and asked him to turn his music down. The victim's husband said his wife was shot right through the closed door moments later.
The racking of a gun and a shot fired off, striking my wife. Neither one of us expected the tables to turn in this manner and for her to be laying in a hospital bed.
He did turn his music down, so they won. Luckily, the woman survived. The neighbor alleged the husband had a gun on him when the couple approached the door. However, police say that is not true.
F me.
Just a jerkwad.
Jesus Christ.
Thank goodness she's okay.
Yeah.
Sounded bad, though. She had to have a few surgeries. A Texas woman was awarded $1.2 billion with a B dollars in a settlement after a Houston area jury ruled she was the victim of revenge porn. The woman, who went by her initials DL in the court documents, filed a harassment lawsuit against her former boyfriend, Marquez Jamal Jackson. According to the suit, Jackson posted intimate images of his ex-girlfriend obtained while they were dating. He put these on social media platforms and adult websites with the intent to embarrass, harass, torment, humiliate, and publicly shame her, quote unquote.
What a friggin' child.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
what he
glad
is.
that they put the hammer down on this guy.
Friggin' child.
I mean, obviously, she's not going to get $1.2 billion, but I like what the statement says about it.
Mm-hmm.
The lawsuit also accuses Jackson of tapping into the plaintiff's mother's home security system to spy on DL after the two had broken up, as well as sending links to her friends and family to sites where the intimate images had been uploaded.
These incidences are happening all the time, and victims of these type of crimes go to extremes, in addition to suffering severe mental anguish, PTSD.
DL joins a growing list of revenge porn cases where victims have been awarded large sums. In 2021, a Maryland woman won $500,000 from a Michigan man who posted nude photographs of her. A California woman was awarded over $6 million after her ex-boyfriend shared nude pictures of her and then videos as well online. With the exception of Massachusetts and South Carolina, all states have passed laws banning revenge porn.
I agree with you, Cubby. I like how they're going after these bitches.
Yeah, I hope they do some jail time. I know Minnesota is cracking down on that a little harder with some new laws that just started earlier this month.
You broke up with me. Grow up, for Christ's sake.
You know, they were nice enough to share some of those photos and videos with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, just be happy you got to see them.
That's how you repay these women.
Anybody here have any nudes on their phone or anything?
No.
Absolutely.
I was thinking about it yesterday.
Well, what are you looking for?
After the show, we were talking to our IT guy and about some changes, some security changes, just saying, hey, don't worry, nobody from the company can get into your phone and, go through anything.
Oh.
And I didn't want to ask in front of him, but I was curious who here would be the most nervous if that was the case.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'd sweat a little bit, yeah.
All right, you got a couple on there?
Yeah.
Well, Pixar, it didn't happen, they say.
That's how you do it
Are you
right
trying
there.
to get me to have to pay $1.2 billion?
Hey, I know you're in radio. Never going to happen. An Arizona corrections officer who once shared a photo on his Facebook profile suggesting death was the only solution to end pedophilia may soon see the prison bars from the other side. And can you guess why?
Pedophilia.
He was accused of child molestation and pornography charges out of Georgia.
There you go.
Well, I hope they take him up on that offer. 24-year-old Cody Dallas Reed was arrested last week, and he's now awaiting extradition to Georgia. Ironically, in 2021, he shared an image on Facebook showing 2 bullets with the words "cure for pedophilia" written across them, and I hope they give him that cure. He's staring down the barrel of between 10 and 24 years in prison.
You were the first one to wake me up to the theory that often, it's like the boy who cried wolf type theory. Is that a fair comparison, Josh? Maybe now I don't remember the entire story of the boy who cried wolf, but you pointed this out to me. Sometimes the guy who's yelling
the loudest.
What am I trying to say here, Josh? Because I can't put it together.
Sorry, I was drinking.
That's okay.
He's hiding something.
Yes, the one who's calling somebody out.
Whoever does that is a sicko. I would never personally do that. Look how much I'm against it.
Right.
There's no way I would do something like that.
Right. They're often the ones who are deeply involved in whatever that thing is.
I am so against it. No need to look over here.
Right.
Obviously, I'm against that. A Florida man faces charges after deputies said he was the driver of a car that drove in circles around a fire truck and prevented it from responding to an emergency call.
Saw a fire truck be prevented from going to a call for service. And when you prevent any first responder, that impacts all of us.
It was weird. He was out there screaming at the top of his lungs, "You should never drive around fire trucks. Don't do it." Orange County Fire Rescue responded to a reported car fire at 1:02 a.m. April 3rd. Upon arrival, crews said they found large crowds and vehicles involved in street racing. Fire officials added no car fire was found, but the fire truck was prevented from leaving the area after the vehicle began driving recklessly around it.
The price is too high. Racing is for racetracks. If you're caught doing this, you could possibly lose your vehicle. You could possibly lose your driver's license. And if you injure somebody, you could then get put in jail.
Investigators determined 25-year-old Elijah Grove Thomas was the driver of a Dodge Charger seen on social media doing circles around the fire truck.
Fire truck?
A social media post from the department read, "This type of activity leads to serious injury and sometimes death to participants and other bystanders. These groups are not unique to Central Florida," they said. "It's a nationwide problem." I haven't seen all the rubber laid out over here on Kasota like I used to. It used to be pretty much after every weekend you'd see just tire, burnout marks coming off of 280 there, where people have said a lot of street racing on that road.
It's a street racing bye week.
Oh, is that what it is?
They've got a week to replace the tires and soup up the engines.
What's the schedule look in the second half of the season?
It picks up. It picks up here in a couple of weeks.
They got a road game coming up. They got road races coming up in a couple of weeks.
People across Dublin, Ireland were flummoxed, baffled, mystified, bewildered, perplexed, puzzled, confused, nonplussed, disconcerted, and thrown off Wednesday night after spotting a mystery plane flying around in strange loops.
Oh, I don't like the sounds of that right there.
I just bought a new thesaurus. I'm getting my money's
worth.
worth.
You pumped out some words there that I haven't heard in years.
The aircraft was tracked crisscrossing back and forth in a rather unique pattern between the hours of 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. It then continued in a zigzag pattern, going west to east until it returned to Birmingham, from which it originated. It didn't take long for the plane to catch the attention of sky gazers who took to social media wondering what it was up to. I wish Ashley was here for many reasons, but one of them is she would have posted this. The flight path looks just absolutely insane. Some wondered if the pilot was drunk. Others speculated it was probable the plane was carrying out aerial photography or mapping. Experts say nighttime surveys are often preferable because there's less moving traffic and activity than during the day.
The flight pattern was all kittywampus.
Yeah, it looks like somebody trying just to, color within the lines, right? It was like an oval.
Did anyone consider a BJ?
That they were getting one of those?
Yeah.
Well, from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m., that'd be a heck of a BJ.
Holy smokes, that's
or a terrible one, I guess. I don't know. One way or the other.
9 a.m. to 2 p.m., whatever you said.
It's another light week in music, with the exception of Atreyu's latest, The Moment You Find Your Flame. And then this week, Slipknot live at MSG.
Oh, no.
Originally included as a bonus disc for the 15th anniversary reissue of All Hope Is Gone, the album captures the band's headlining set in Madison Square Garden, February 5th of 2009.
That brings back memories, doesn't it, Wapple? When I first met Wapple, he was getting his ass kicked at a Slipknot concert.
Really?
Yeah.
That was one of the best concerts I'd been to, was the last Slipknot show that they did at Target Center. Top 5 concerts of all time.
How long ago was this?
Less than 2 years ago, I'd say.
Not bad. Every Friday, you can find the week's new music at 93x.com with our notable new release post. The superhero origin story movie Blue Beetle is now in theaters. An alien relic chooses a young man to be its symbiotic host, maybe, bestowing the teen with a suit of armor capable of extraordinary and unpredictable powers. Also on the big screen today, a raunchy comedy about revenge-thirsty dogs. In Strays, abandoned on the mean streets by his low-life owner, a naive but lovable dog named Reggie falls in with a fast-talking, foul-mouthed Boston Terrier and his gang of strays, determined to seek revenge against his former owner. Strays stars Sofia Vergara, Will Ferrell, Will Forte, Jamie Foxx, Josh Gad, Randall Park, and Rob Riggle.
You think this will be as good as Sausage Party?
It looks awful.
It looks pretty bad.
Unfortunately. The first time I read about it, I thought, oh, that sounds kind of fun. And then watching a couple trailers, it does not look good.
Looks tough.
Both in theaters and on demand, Alice Eve battles paranormal spirits in Haunting of the Queen Mary, a supernatural horror mystery following two families violently entangled when sailing aboard the real-life ocean liner, the Queen Mary, on Halloween night in 1938. Then those events strangely connect to another family's fate on the same ocean liner in the present. Alice Eve, anybody?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think she's fairly attractive.
I saw her in a movie once, sure.
Lastly, on the big screen side at least, back on the Strip. After losing the woman of his dreams, a man moves to Las Vegas to pursue work as a magician, only to get hired as the front man in a revival of a notorious male stripper crew, the Chocolate Chips. Back on the Strip features a beefed-up roster of talent, including Wesley Snipes, Tiffany Haddish, J.B. Smoove, and a cameo from Kevin Hart. Streaming today on Netflix, The Monkey King. Taking place in ancient China, a stick-wielding monkey teams with a younger girl on an epic quest for immortality, battling demons, dragons, gods, and his own ego along the way. Finally, on Sunday, the charity special Stand Up to Cancer. Film and television stars affected by cancer gather for an inspiring special broadcast across television to raise funds for cancer research. The special, across several networks, including ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC, is also on various cable channels and streamers as well. Birthdays over the weekend. On Sunday, Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit, 53. Led Zeppelin's Robert Plant will be 75.
Oh, boy.
Tomorrow, Friends star Matthew Perry turns 54. John Stamos will be 60. And Vikings quarterback and Netflix star Kirk Cousins, 35 tomorrow.
Get Kirk Cousins away from John Stamos.
Well, there's a distance there.
How the hell? He doesn't deserve to be having the same birthday as friggin' John Stamos.
Andy Samberg is 45 today. Edward Norton, 54. Also 54, Christian Slater. Dennis Leary, 66. And Robert Redford, 87 today.
Oh, boy.
Congratulations to Fun Size Jesus and Train Tech Jesus on their first anniversary tomorrow. Happy Sunday birthday to longtime listener Board HR Jesus. Happy Saturday birthday to Brotherhood Badass Brian. Happy today birthday to Grayson from My Girlfriend Thinks It's 9 Inches Jesus.
Oh.
And finally, my cousin Ian turns 50 today, and I couldn't care less. That's 93X News.
Minnesota is here for you. MentalHealthMN.org. Sponsored by Mental Health Minnesota, the Minnesota Broadcasters Association, and this station.
You're listening to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. Traffic is sponsored by American Monsters, Onion Head's Revenge.
This Halloween season, nothing can prepare you for Onion Head's Revenge, a new breed of haunted house, only at Mall of America. Tickets are on sale now. Fear is here. Tickets are on sale now at AmericanMonsters.com.
Hold on one sec. My computer just locked up on me. I hope I'm not jinxing anything by talking about no-hitter in progress, but there's still no accidents or stalls in the metro area this morning, so things are going great. That's your traffic. This is 93X.
Traffic's also sponsored by Stouffer's Auto.
Before you hit the road, get hooked up at Stouffer's Trailers, Golf Cart, and Auto Sales in Madison Lake. They carry Alumina and Triton trailers, open or enclosed trailers for your UTVs, motorcycles, snowmobiles, or whatever you need to haul. Head over to StouffersAuto.com.
93X Sports and More with Carol Evans, Randy Shaver is sponsored by St. Croix Casino Turtle Lake. Find your fortune.
Nick here for St. Croix Casino Turtle Lake. It's back. The best place for sports betting is the new and improved Book Sports Betting Lounge at St. Croix Casino Turtle Lake. Bet on sports while watching in comfortable VIP seating and enjoy 360-degree viewing on giant HD TVs, plus great food and craft beverages, straight bets, futures, parlays, and much more. The Book has it all. And this August, you could win an Indian Chief Bobber motorcycle worth $25,000. Get all the details at GoPlayWin.com. It's the shortest sports betting drive from the Twin Cities. St. Croix Casino Turtle Lake. Find your fortune.
Care 11's Randy Shaver.
Never had a grown man send me so many pictures with his shirt off.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
What's wrong? There's a person imitating a bee.
Imitating a bee? That is a new one.
A bit of a surprising one, that one. It has never happened in my career. I don't know. Speaking to you? No, they're imitating a bee. They're buzzing.
But do you know who is exactly?
It's the lady over there. Okay, I want her out.
Oh, no, not the bee!
I hope you're ready, Randy Shaver.
Ready for what?
Because it's just you today.
Just me.
No
just
Brad Ryder.
That's the way it should be.
No Brad Ryder. No
Let's
Janelle Klein.
Brad try this.
No C. Willie Miles. No Andre DiPolo, whatever the hell his name is from the Vikings. Just you.
No Dick Bramer.
No Dick Bramer. No nothing.
No Andrew Wappel.
No, you're here.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you're the one that said that. Darn it.
What the hell's the matter with you? How you doing, Randy?
Good.
What the hell was going on there? In the intro there, I don't understand people anymore. We've become so strange and unpredictable. A grown adult woman damn near got thrown out the stands of a live tennis match because she wouldn't stop imitating the sound of a buzzing bee while a tennis dude was trying to serve.
It's got to be a TikTok thing or something, right?
You'd think.
This woman looked to be what, Josh? Maybe 60 years old?
Yeah.
And now, the first things first, I do want to comment on how I do think it's silly how in golf and tennis there needs to be complete silence when you're putting or whatever the hell you do in golf. In tennis, when they're serving, no one can make a sound. Where, like, say, for example, in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, a dude can be attempting a series-winning free throw and folks can just unload on the guy. But can you imagine being a grown person and having to explain to your friends that you were thrown out of a live sporting event because you were making bumblebee sounds?
I'm the bee lady, everyone.
That's what was happening there.
It's kind of embarrassing, really.
Oh, absolutely.
I would think my pals would stop hanging out with me.
Yeah, can you imagine if that's like your mom or grandma or something like that?
It's just so odd and stupid. I mean, shout a curse word in the dude's backswing. Throw garbage on the court. Flash your naked ass. I have a certain amount of respect for that type of heckling. You know what I mean? But yeah, when the dude was in his backswing, this lady was going...
Yeah, the curse word, you might get support from other people in the crowd. This, people are going to look at you like you're a nutcase. Yeah.
Well, here's a wild theory. Maybe she was a big fan of the guy he was playing, and she did her research, and she knew that dude who was attempting to serve is allergic to bees, like deadly allergic to bees.
All right, that's a better troll if that's the case.
So she was trying to get into his head, but I'm not going to give her that much credit. I think she's just an idiot.
That's going like John Randall on her.
Oh, yeah, doing the research.
Right. John Randall used to read the media guide of the players he was going against each week so that he knew the names of the mom and the guy's sister and all that kind of stuff.
That's
just
amazing.
To get in his head. Yeah.
Now, so this tennis player, this is my best guess at his name, Stefanos Tsitsipas.
Yeah, that's not it.
That sounds right.
Yeah. Well, you take a shot at it. You got it in front of you? That looks to me, it looks like his last name is Tsitsipas.
I think it's like it's the I's before the P though. But there is an AS at the end. Pass, probably.
Stefanos Tsitsipas is trying to play tennis. And then he's got to go walk over to the ref or whatever it is in tennis and say, there's a lady behind me. She's making bee sounds. And then he approaches a lady and says, why are you making bee sounds? And she apologizes. I'm sorry. I don't get it. That's friggin' embarrassing. But, you know. Is Stefanos going to have to sit to piss?
I bet after matches, he's probably so tired he has to.
tennis, Randy.
Boy, I haven't played tennis since maybe 5th or 6th grade.
I'm excellent at it.
I bought a racket I saw in the clearance section at Target in the spring it was like $7 racket. I bought a tube of balls. Still sitting in the closet.
I am excellent at tennis.
Pickleball would be the closest.
I tried about every 10, 15 years. Tennis, Randy?
I'm sure you're pretty good.
And I'm tough to be beat.
I'm sure you are.
Well, yeah. If you're tuning in for our weekly dad fight, sorry, Brad Ryder is unavailable. Something about him and a college girl going somewhere together.
Oh. Yeah, that's not the right way to categorize what's going on.
How would you say it?
Well, I would mention that he's bringing his daughter to college, helping her move to college.
I just heard
because the
something about...
scenario you set up is more like your life.
Right.
Yeah,
I
not
suppose,
Brad's life.
Yeah, I just heard something about Brad and a college girl. And so no dad fight today. And it's just Randy. It's all on Randy's shoulders.
Sounds good.
Oh, maybe I'll throw some of this at you real quick. Earlier on, we were talking about another one of these silly social media sarcastic arguments that all the ninth graders go wild for. Randy Shaver, I'm sure you've heard a little bit of this stuff in the past. Is a hot dog a sandwich? And then we argue back and forth. You know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
The latest is even weaker than that. The latest is, are pickles real? Because if you buy a jar of pickles, you'll notice that it doesn't actually say pickle on the jar. Okay, that's the latest. You don't have to bother thinking about that one. But our listeners texted in some other odd-ass type of scenarios like that. And I wanted to get a learned man like yourself. I wanted to get your take on it. Here's what was texted to me from the brother and sisterhood. What color is a mirror?
That's interesting.
Anybody want to take a stab at that?
I guess I would, if I would give it a color, I guess I'd say gray, but I don't-
silver?
Silver, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Silver's not bad.
All right.
There's always a lot of
pasty.
blood on
When I
mine.
Mm-hmm.
look into it, pasty.
these are the kind of questions that hurt my head. So
I hear you. All right. Where do you go with this one? This is just a statement, not so much a question, but a statement. Cereal is soup.
I've heard that before.
Well, it depends if you put milk in it. If you eat it dry, it's not.
Who's out there chowing down dry cornflakes?
I used to eat like alphabets dry.
Wow.
I never used to use
Alphabets.
Golden Grams?
Alphabets.
You ever eaten Golden Grams or...
Oh, I know somebody who just fists dry boxes of cereal for snack food.
I don't think that's not that uncommon.
But I would just never put it in a bowl
without any milk.
Yeah.
No.
Well, reaching in and grabbing a handful, that's one thing. I thought you meant if you're actually going to sit down with a spoon and a bowl and just scoop them out dry.
That's how I drink milk, though. I just pour it in a bowl and I use a spoon. No cereal required.
Josh is on the floor licking it up like a cat.
Takes you a while to get your calcium intake that away, Josh. All right. I made a bold call earlier, Randy Shaver. I don't know if anyone's ever made such a bold call before on this program, but I'm ready to stand by it. At Target Field tonight, Randy, Pablo Lopez,
Yeah.
he's going to dump a no-no on the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Ooh.
You heard it here first.
Okay. That would it would surprise me because that's very rare, but the Pirates have been so bad lately that it's certainly got a chance.
I feel like now that you made that call, it's either going to happen or it's going to last like an inning and 2/3.
Absolutely.
There's not going to be any, like, he goes 7 strong with giving up 3 hits. It's going to be one extreme or the other.
I agree with you. It's either going to go one way hard or the other real hard. Last no-no for the Twins. Frankie Liriano, or am I forgetting somebody?
I think that's right.
Frankie against the White Sox like 12, 13, 14 years ago.
213 pitches that night for
I can think of Scott Erickson and Eric Milton. I don't know what the years were for those two guys.
Eric Milton was like 98 or 99. Scott Erickson was before that.
Yep.
I remember well, first off, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want the text.
You're right, Francisco Liriano.
Yeah,
back in 2011.
I remember where I was that night. I also remember where I was for Eric Milton's. I was in Duluth. Don't ask me why, because I've never enjoyed visiting that town. But I was in Duluth hanging out at a bar watching Eric Milton throw his no-hitter. When Liriano did it, Josh and I were at a casino hanging out with strippers.
We sure were.
Yeah.
Had a little contest, didn't we?
We did. We had a little contest on stage called Are You Smarter Than a Stripper? And it was a riot.
That was a lot of fun.
Yes, the gals, the strippers, showed up wildly intoxicated and disheveled as all get out. But when it was showtime, they came out looking gorgeous and knocked it out of the park. I was worried.
Oh yeah, we thought it was going to be a nightmare.
They showed up. They showed up in a party van, and they were gooned.
Yeah.
And it was 4 or 5 in the afternoon, preparing for a 7 o'clock live show. Are You Smarter Than a Stripper? But they were outstanding. We had a lot of fun that night. But that was the night. Remember, we kept kind of ducking out of the showroom or whatever you call it at a casino, the ballroom. We were ducking out to check on Liriano, if you remember, Josh.
And then there was a guy that dressed like Santa Claus. You remember that guy?
No, I do not.
Sat right towards the front.
No, I do not.
I think he was just looking to get those girls to sit on his lap.
I was paying attention to other things because the girls were gorgeous. Tonight, 7 o'clock over there at Target Field. If you can't make it to the game, they'll throw it on television for you. Bally Sports. Pablo Lopez starting. Game 1 against the Pirates. It'd be nice to sweep this ball club.
Oh, they should. The Pirates are super struggling right now.
Let's sweep this ball club.
13 games under 500, and after such a great start, have been nothing but awful. So
let's go ahead and sweep them. That'd be a good feeling for the boys.
So I saw on Twitter yesterday, and I have to say congratulations this morning to Phil Housley.
Oh.
Did you see this on Twitter?
No, I'm not on Twitter.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Phil Housley got a hole-in-one yesterday playing golf, and I mean, that's remarkable no matter who you are.
Sure.
But, Phil has played in my golf event quite a few times and obviously is a pretty good golfer. So not only are there some pictures, but there's a video of him walking up to the pin just to make sure the ball actually is in there. It's pretty funny. So I just wanted to say congratulations to Phil. It's not every day that I know someone who gets a hole-in-one.
That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Great player.
Yeah.
What a great player for a...
I also saw, and sadly, I saw that the longtime play-by-play announcer for the Sabres passed away yesterday.
Really?
Rick Jeanneret?
Sure. Jeanette, I thought it was.
Is it Jeanette?
I thought it was, but it's been a long time since I've said his name aloud.
Yeah. I saw the Sabres announce that he passed away yesterday.
And, of course, Phil played for that club.
Phil played for him, yeah. Phil put something out on Twitter yesterday about him, how sad he was to hear.
Oh, no.
In fact, Phil wrote, I can still hear him calling, Woo-wee Housley. Which was morphed into Howie. Yeah.
I remember the old calls. Maybe we can find these on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
Rick Jeanette. Yes, Randy.
Can I follow this up?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is why Phil put this. Phil actually named his newest grandson Howie, kind of off of that call by Rick Jeanette.
Okay. The dude called
Howie Housley turned into Howie, and that's the name of Phil's grandson.
The dude called Sabres games for decades.
Yes.
And the two famous calls that I remember.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not making a mistake. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've had a conversation or thought of this man. But I thought he was famous. Well, he's famous for a lot of calls, but the two I remember, Brad May scores a massive overtime goal for the Sabres. I believe they were playing the Boston Bruins in the 91 or 92 playoffs. And he
says 93.
93.
The article, yeah.
Mayday. When he scored the goal at the old auditorium in Boston, if anybody can find that call.
Goal, he shoots,
I'm going to cry.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And then, of course, one of the greatest American-born players, along with Phil Housley of all time, Pat LaFontaine. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on Pat LaFontaine. And fine, I'll say it, even though it's not my theory, it's Big Al's theory. Had the North Stars drafted Pat LaFontaine, they never would have left town. And I agree with that 100%. Pat LaFontaine scored a big goal for the Sabres around Christmas And Rick Jeanette dumped this on the crowd or on the listeners at home. Fa la 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 Fontaine. That was his regular thing, was
awesome.
the la 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 la, but on Christmas he added a fa la 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 la. Oh man, you know what was so great about that dude was he legitimately was screaming his ass off. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It wasn't. You know, you hear announcers today go, "Oh," you know, they're faking it. They're trying to. He was legitimately. Oh, dude.
He reminds me a little bit as I listen to him. This is the first time I've really kind of heard him. He does remind me a little bit of Al Shaver, too.
Yeah, they do have a similar tone.
He sounds like Al Shaver.
They do have a similar tone.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? Now that it's coming back to me, thank you for bringing this up, Randy, because you know I'm wildly addicted to nostalgia when it comes to 80s and 90s sports, whatever it be, athletes, announcers. Josh, you know what? Another call that we played on the air before was that wild-ass fight between the Sabres and the Ottawa Senators a number of years ago, where, Emery, the goaltender, got involved, and Jeanette, this is really going to get ugly now. You remember that one, Cubby?
It was
a great brawl where the Senators really dumped a cheap shot on Chris Drury, who was the big goal scorer for the Buffalo Sabres at the time. And it started a massive brawl. The goaltenders got involved. The coaches got involved, screaming at each other. And Jeanette made that call. This is great. I'm so glad you said something, Randy. If Josh, if you can find it, great.
Yeah, can you help me out here, Wap? I'm having some trouble.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it too.
The Sabres, so after the Senators effed up Chris Drury, Lindy Ruff, the coach for the Sabres, said, F this, and he put all the cement heads on the line that were on the Sabres roster back in the day when teams used to still employ cement heads who were strictly there to do damage. And if you watch at the opening face-off, the Sabres players are bashing Senators players in the kidneys, like the Suter on the Russian kid type stuff, before that became grounds for throwing someone out the league. And they're starting trouble before the puck is even dropped. If we can find the Jeanette call, he explains it so perfectly, it's glorious. So good for Phil Housley getting that hole-in-one, Randy. I've always been a big fan.
Did you say what year?
It's got to be 2000 and I'm just
Was
going
it 07?
Yeah, let's go with that.
All right. Yeah, I unfortunately I can't preview stuff over here, so I'm.
Ever dropped between Heatley and Coletta.
This is it.
Peters is out there as well, and Mayer at center ice. And Mayer trying to go after Spezza. Spezza doesn't want anything to do with it. Played back in over the line, and everybody tearing up and singing. And here goes Mayer after Spezza. Now Mayer gets grabbed from behind, and they all pile in there now. And Biron is looking for Emery. Here's Biron trying to get his gloves off, and Ray Emery wants to go too. Biron and Emery. They're back near center ice as they grapple, and everybody else is teeing off of one another. Emery fires a punch down on the ice. The two goaltenders go. Now here's Peters.
That's just beautiful. Listen to that friggin' crowd.
I like the smile on Emery's face. Like, here we are. This will be fun.
Yeah. God, hockey used to be fun.
I'll say it again. He does sound like Al Shaver.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, there's just that. If you put the two side by side, I mean, they're pretty close.
Dang. Anyone following the Little League World Series just yet?
Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Read a couple headlines.
I don't know why you would. But anyway, Chinese Taipei Ball Club had a combined perfect game at the Little League World Series. Yesterday? Did this happen yesterday?
I think so, yes.
Did.
In the third, he's got an immaculate inning. Fan Chun-Chun is Jacob deGrom, the Little League version. This is unreal.
One of the pitchers had an immaculate inning. Yeah, it was a combined perfect game, right? I'm not mistaking that?
Yes.
Okay. They had a pitcher on the bump, a 12-year-old kid who now people are dubbing Baby Ohtani. Forgive me, I missed all of this. I'm just reading about it. got a hold of this a few minutes ago because I've been way behind and unprepared from the get-go this morning. One of the kids was throwing 81 miles an hour. That's the big league equivalent of a 110-mile-per-hour baseball, they say.
We're not going to find out this kid is 16 like Danny Almonte back in the day, are we?
I hope so. I always loved those stories.
That was great.
I always loved when they found out the kid was 27 years old. You know.
Oh, it was a little suspicious when he was driving the team bus to the game.
Right. So a combined perfect game at the Little League World Series for Chinese Taipei. Randy Shaver, when you were playing Little League Baseball, were curveballs illegal?
They were not.
Okay.
Of course, this is back in the 70s.
Yeah.
60s, actually.
I don't think they were illegal, but no one wanted you to throw them.
Oh,
Like the coaches wouldn't teach you.
Totally different in my era growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I remember totally different. Coaches actually encouraged you to try to do that. I actually worked on throwing a knuckleball when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old.
I always loved to try that too.
Yeah, in your day, Wapple, it was very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
I was drinking with an old timer the other night, and Little League Baseball was on television, and he said when he played, you weren't allowed to throw a curveball, and it was the theory that you didn't want kids ruining their arms at 12 years old. When I played Little League ball, you could throw whatever you wanted, but like Wapple was saying, coaches did not like to watch kids throw off-speed stuff because they thought they would hurt themselves. I was a catcher. Go ahead and be cute with it on text if you feel like it. I was a catcher, and one of our pitchers' dads was the coach, of course. And the dad pulled me aside secretively and said, "Is my son throwing curveballs?" And I was under pressure. I was intimidated by this guy. And I told him the truth. I said, "Yes, he is throwing curveballs." And that dad went over to his son and chewed his ass out. The kid did throw a pretty good curveball for a 12-year-old. Not as good as I did.
Have you found something yet you're not good at? I've been trying to keep track.
Yeah, exactly.
So far, you're the best tennis player and now one of the best at curveball.
Dude, I mean, what can I tell you? I'm just trying to be honest.
I was just
with
curious.
You. Yeah,
more than anything.
Relationships?
That's a good one.
Josh, I just sent you an email. Can you see if you got it?
Let's see.
And I want to bring this up. Yeah. So Nick, I'm sad to say this.
Oh no.
Brad Maxwell is fighting terrible lung cancer.
Oh no.
And he's not doing well. Jack Carlson, the former North Star defenseman, has set up a GoFundMe for Brad and his family.
Really?
Brad has not been able to work for like the last year, and the medical bills and all those kind of things have been piling up. So they have set up a GoFundMe for Brad Maxwell. For anybody out there that is a former North Star fan, Brad, of course, was a defenseman for the North Stars. I think he actually had 2 stints here in Minnesota. I think he went and played for Toronto and then came back to the Stars.
Yeah, I remember that. He a couple clubs. He moved on to a couple different clubs and came back for a brief. Yes,
came back in like '87. I want to say.
Something like that.
Current president of the Minnesota NHL alumni, Brad. Fantastic guy. He's played in my golf event many years, but he's going through some really, really tough times right now. So, for people out there that would like to help Brad, they've set up, like I said, a GoFundMe. I don't know, Josh, if it's something that 93X can throw up someplace to. That. I know we've passed it on to our TV folks too, and to see if there's something we can do to make people aware of it. But my thoughts are with Brad and his family. Cancer sucks. We all know that. And I hate to see someone like Brad going through what he's going through.
Well, Nick knows this. I had the great honor of hiring Brad. He made some cabinets at my house. And at the time,
did he really?
I didn't think there's any way it was the same Brad Maxwell. I hadn't heard he was doing that.
Hilarious.
This was just maybe a year and a half ago.
No. Not that long ago.
And having him at the house, and we'd get to talking, probably to the point where I annoyed him. It was going on for so long. But he is such a neat guy, and hearing him tell some of those stories,
that's really
and
sad
how involved
to hear.
he still is with players. And
yeah,
I have also I'm really sad to hear that, Randy Shaver. We'll be thinking about the guy, and I'm going to look into that GoFundMe that you mentioned. This is a guy that I was like a lot of those 70s and 80s North Stars guys. They were my absolute heroes.
Yep.
Maxwell and Hartsburg and Cicerelli, Neil Broughton, Bobby Smith, Tom McCarthy. Keep going down the road. I loved these guys. And to hear that he's going through some real serious trouble is concerning. I was also honored in a way by Brad Maxwell, and I've told this story on the air a few times, but I love telling it. I involved myself, or I was lucky enough to be involved in one of these media dorks versus old pros charity hockey games a number of years ago. There I am on the ice with Brad Maxwell and Doug Woog and Chris Dahlquist. And there was a lot of baseball players out there too. Herbeck, Koski, guys like that. I'm sure I'm missing some big names, but Brad Maxwell was on the opposite club. And this is back when I could still move a little bit. And I dangled myself around Brad Maxwell with the puck. And I thought for sure I'm free and clear. And then I felt the hardest slash I had ever taken in my life on my right forearm, and I lost the puck. And I looked behind me. Maxwell gave me a cheap shot.
That's an honor.
And at first I was really pissed because it friggin' hurt. It was the hardest slash. And, of course, he's carrying around like a 35-pound Sherwood stick from friggin' 1985.
Yeah.
I mean, it friggin' hurt. And I spun around, and I was pissed. But then it dawned on me. I just took a cheap shot from Brad Maxwell.
That's pretty cool.
Because he was legitimately upset that I dangled him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy.
And I'll tell you what, that's what made guys like Brad Maxwell so great.
Yeah, I agree.
He didn't go as far as to fight me, because, boy, that would have been embarrassing for me.
That's really too bad. Thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I mean, Jack had reached out to me probably Friday of last week and let me know that they were setting all of this up and that if I could, pass along the information. And so I've just been waiting to get that, and he actually just sent it to me right now when we were on the air. So
I'm very sorry to hear that, Randy. And like I said, we will be thinking about.
Our thoughts are with his family and with Brad.
Yeah,
it's a tough deal. He's the formal treatment that he's been going through is no longer working, and so now they're going to try an experimental treatment for him.
Okay.
And so that's what's so expensive right now is that insurance doesn't cover all of the cost of this next level of treatment. So
those 81 North Stars.
Yeah.
They brought something to this town that it was off the charts.
Yeah.
The 81 North Stars with Dino and the gang. Maybe next time you talk to Jack Carlson, ask him about this. Wasn't there an old story where when Brad Maxwell was traded back to the North Stars in the late 80s, that Lou Nanny was able to acquire Brad Maxwell because he won a game of cards? Someone help me out with that. I want to say the story was Lou Maxwell. Lou Nanny was playing a game of cards with Phil Esposito or something. And when Lou won the game of poker or whatever it was, he won the rights to bring Brad Maxwell back to the North Stars.
That's awesome.
Seriously. It wasn't even that long ago. Mid to late 80s, and guys are being traded via poker hands.
That's funny.
If someone can find that for me, that'd be great. All right. What else is going on around here, Randy Shaver?
Well, we got the Vikings on Saturday.
Oh,
They host Tennessee. They've been practicing against the Titans this week, so I think they
a preseason game
Saturday.
against.
I think is this the only home preseason game?
I have no idea. I'm not the preseason football guy.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if they've got 2 home games and 1 away because they only have 3, right? There's only 3 preseasons.
Yeah.
Looks like they got another one home against the Cardinals next Saturday.
Okay. Oh, that's a can't-miss showdown.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
12 noon Saturday. Be there.
Oh, man. I know this much. Greg Joseph will be the Vikings kicker for at least another football season. He beat out a rookie And it's all his. The gig is all his now. Greg Joseph. You guys comfortable with that?
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm fine.
Sure.
Yeah, all right. He was 26 for 33 on field goal attempts last season, 40 for 46 on extra point attempts. If my memory serves me right, there were still some adventures on that club when it came to extra points and such, right?
Yeah.
Greg Joseph. Seems like a nice enough kid.
It looks like I'm just looking at the schedule for Saturday. Boy, if you're into NFL preseason, you don't have to get up from your chair from noon until probably midnight. If you're watching NFL Network, there are four games, noon, 3, 6, and 9 on NFL Network for preseason on Saturday.
That's pathetic.
But if you're just can't wait for football, I mean, you get a chance to watch the Lions and the Texans and the Colts, the Seahawks. There you go. That sounds like a fun Saturday to me.
Seahawks and Colts.
Speaking of the Lions, Randy, you've said a couple times now on this program that they're legit.
I think they're going to be really good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Well, I think because you've been sort of swinging from their jock lately, and I'm excited for the Lions, too. I hope they win the division. I really do.
Especially when the Jamison Williams kid is able to play.
What does he do?
Well, he's suspended, I think, till like week 7 or something like that.
Oh, gambling?
He's a wide receiver.
Oh. Maybe because you've shown some excitement for the Lions, that's why Cubby pulled aside the Why Your Team Sucks Detroit Lions edition for 2023.
Gosh.
From Drew McGarry over there.
What could they possibly write about the Lions right now?
I mean, it's okay. There's a fun story at the end. Why Your Team Sucks Detroit Lions 2023 edition. Here's what Drew McGarry had to say. We've covered the Packers. We've covered the, the Jets. We'll get to the Vikings. Drew McGarry says their 2022 record, 9-8. First winning season since 2017. Best team not to make the playoffs. Hang a banner. There's a good vibe with the Lions, he says. Lots of people think they're finally legit, but hang on. Drew McGarry says, you want me to feel good for these a-holes? There's no feeling good in football. There is only anger and pain. Dan Campbell, you really don't want the consensus praise for your head coach to be, wow, he's not as dumb as he looks. But Lions fans are buying into this clod anyway. He's exactly as dumb as he looks. You'll excuse me if I need to see a bit more from Dan Campbell first. And from Jared Goff. Here's a good one. Jared Goff is Ken. Lions fans are eating up the hype like it's their favorite hamburger casserole. They're packing into Ford Field with all their heads high and their nipples all pointed straight down. What the hell does that mean? Does anyone know what that means?
Oh, my.
It must be a reference we don't understand.
They're inhaling crappy nachos and drinking crappy beer and screeching at one another in that hideous Michigan accent of theirs. I don't know what the Michigan accent is. Do you guys know what it is?
No.
And the rest of America is enabling these puds. That's 2 out of 3 why your team sucks that have included the word pud. The Detroit Lions are not dangerous. They're not contenders. They're not a force to be reckoned with and never have been. Get the F out of my face and go back to the basement where you belong. Campbell wanted a live lion on the sidelines. There's no lion that deserves to be caged and forced to watch this team. Say what you want about Campbell's gift for improvement and the fact that they used to be much worse than they are now, but these are still the Detroit Lions. Their history is to revert to form the year after any discernible improvement. The NFL has its rules about live animals on the sidelines, but any lion who would bother to maul this team is punching down. Those are the highlights from Drew McGarry's Why Your Team Sucks with the Detroit Lions. But what really cracked me up was a fan comment. At the end of every one of these articles, fans can chime in. And this story grabbed me. So a reader of Defector.com said, my family moved to Michigan 2 summers ago. My 5th grade son signed up for flag football for the first time. When I got the schedule that provided the roster for this team, I saw that our team name was going to be the Lions. I was so excited for my kid. That's his new home team and the name of his 5th grade flag football team. Mm-hmm. At the very first practice, one of the kids looked at the schedule and the team name that was handed to him and very loudly said, these are 5th grade kids, very loudly said, F the Lions. And nobody corrected him. Before we go, I got a couple more things. This is kind of interesting. Boy, when's the last time anyone had a conversation about that old Tim Tebow character?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Does he still do television?
I think he does.
Yes.
Yes.
Does he not have a fixer-upper type show or something like that?
I think he does too. I think he's on
like one of those home shows, HGTV?
Yeah, Home Network or whatever it is.
Wapple hates Tim Tebow.
I
Why?
do.
Wapple hates Tim Tebow because Tim Tebow held on to his virginity voluntarily.
What man in his right mind?
Wapple was out there scratching and clawing for every little bit of it.
Just desperate. Like I didn't try.
Tebow
desperately.
The dude went to the University of Florida. He voluntarily turned it down.
And he was a quarterback.
Heisman winning quarterback.
I'm just a stupid kid from Forest Lake.
You know, that's one of the things that hurt you from the get-go was that from Forest Lake part. Now, here's a story going around. There's a Netflix series coming up on the 2000s era Florida Gators with head coach, that douche barrel Urban Meyer.
This is part of the same series that just put out the Johnny Manziel one that put out
Untold is what it's
it's
called.
Untold.
Okay,
Yeah.
Untold. I wasn't aware that it was you guys were familiar with it.
I just watched that Jake Paul one and the Johnny Manziel one.
Okay.
Barf.
Man, you guys, you watch?
They were actually really good.
You guys are the best at television. There's nobody in town better at you guys than television.
I think the Florida one comes out next week. Swamp Kings.
Okay, Swamp
yeah.
Kings.
Yep.
So it talks about Urban Meyer and it talks about Tim Tebow in that era. Now, a former linebacker at the time by the name of Brandon Spikes, sounds familiar, he said back when he was teammates with Tebow at the University of Florida, Spikes and other teammates would test Tebow to see how serious he was about saving himself for marriage, how serious he was about his virginity. They would taunt him with naked pictures of women to see how he would react. Spike said, I just wanted to see if he was real. I would maybe have a nude picture on my phone, and I'd show it to him to see how he would react. And he would say, come on, man. Like you really know how to get a man uncomfortable. And Spikes would say to himself, oh, he is serious. They would get answered, or pardon me, that's not how you say it. They would get asked a lot, the other players on the Florida team, is he really a virgin?
I think most people thought he was being dishonest with that.
Yeah,
right?
I for a while I thought it was kind of BS, but then it just it's gone on so long and nothing's come out that I think he's actually the real deal.
Oh, yeah. I think I was skeptical at first, but I think all I had to see was one interview with the guy. And I was convinced he would. You can tell sometimes the way a guy operates, the way a guy talks. So I believed him fairly quickly. So his teammates were asked, does he really just eat, sleep, football? And they would say, well, yeah, we found out that is pretty much all he does. There was something else in here about, whenever they saw him around the campus, he would either have his Bible or his playbook on him. He would never party with us. I would throw parties, says the Spikes guy. He would never show up. We went out and drank hard, danced, partied, had a good time. Tebow never played a role in any of it. So there you go. Maybe you want to check that deal out once it comes out on television.
I'd be interested in that one.
Girls would faint in his presence. Tim Tebow.
Yeah, he was huge there for a long time.
What do you think about that, Randy Shaver?
Sure. I'll pay attention to that.
You will? You think you'd watch such a program?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm going to dip into the quarterbacks thing, which I said I would never do, and then I started watching it, and I thought, oh, okay.
You used to be a man of your word.
I did.
There was this one that I watched on Netflix, too. It was called QB1, and they would go to high schools, these really big, prestigious high schools, and they would follow the quarterbacks around. They did that Spencer
I remember
Rattler.
that.
They did, who was the guy from Georgia?
I have no idea.
Oh, boy.
Herschel Walker.
I can't remember the quarterback. Yeah, but then
Jeff Jarrett.
They also did Justin Fields and stuff, too.
I hear you.
QB1?
QB1 on Netflix.
I haven't heard of that.
Jake Fromm, is that what you're thinking of?
There we go.
Fair enough. All right, Randy, you got big plans this weekend?
I'm going to babysit my beautiful granddaughter on Saturday night.
Oh, changing diapers and whatnot?
Yeah.
Are you any good at that?
You know, surprisingly, I am.
Yeah. But you have such a weak stomach.
I do, but you know what? I guess something just kicks in when it's your kid or your grandkid.
That's what Cubby says.
You get past all that.
God, I didn't think I'd had
I know,
any
right?
ability, but yeah, when it's your kid, it's different for some reason.
It is, yeah. So
you're babysitting, huh? Grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
Tell you what, that's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
My wife can change a diaper in a flash. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's going to help me out later in life, I think.
She's kind of like a pit crew, right?
Yeah.
She didn't get you out.
That's a perfect way to describe it.
What's faster, Josh? Your wife changing a diaper or you undoing a bra? Because you're the fastest bra unsnapper in Hennepin, Scott, Washington, and McLeod counties.
That's a talent.
You know, that's a challenge. I'd like to, start or try out with the wife, but I'd have to bring in somebody else, and I don't think she'd go for that. Yeah, I don't want to distract her from taking that diaper off.
I hear you.
She is incredibly fast at it. She could probably win a contest doing that.
Diaper changing.
Yeah. Big money in that, I bet. Big money.
Yeah, I bet you those kind of tournaments have been held. You just didn't get the heads up on it.
Yeah, like at a diaper manufacturer or something, having one of those kind of goofy contests.
Can't imagine what the trophy would look like. God help us. Randy, have fun then. Thanks for everything.
You bet.
We'll talk to you on Monday. Okay, great. We'll be back in a little while. We got Ron Capps at one point or another, NHRI driver. Ron Capps going to join us on the program coming up.
There's a douchiness to them.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Hey, Minnesota. CJ Ham here. Huddle up for a second. You need someone to go the extra yard when your furnace or AC is out? Give the ball to the certified pros at Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They've been at it for 90 years. Ready? Break.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Deals on deals on deals. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals. Standard Heating, providing the comfort you deserve since 1930.
Are you currently enjoying the show on the Stitcher app? Then you need to know Stitcher is going away on August 29th. Yep. Going away, as in kaput, gone, dead. Rest in peace, Stitcher, and thanks for 15 years of service to the podcast community. So switch to another podcast app and follow this show there. Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Yes. Yes, I said. It's that time of year again. The Lucas Oil NHRA Nationals are back at Brainerd International Raceway. And once again, and Cubby, we wouldn't have it any other way, would we?
No, that's how we know it's time.
We get to rap a little bit with one of the all-time greats to set the scene for the weekend. Please welcome to the program again, Ron Capps, everybody.
Hey, man, what an introduction. I love that song.
Ron, yes, you are, you're a Motley Crue fan, Ron?
Of course. Who isn't?
Yeah. It's nice to talk to you again, Ron.
It's always good to talk to you guys. Last year, I can't tell you how many people came up to me and told me they heard me on your show. So you got quite the audience up here.
That's great, dude. Wait, Ron, we're a pretty big effing deal.
I know.
Really?
Tell me about it.
You're wandering around the zoo, you're wandering around the track, and they were dumping our names on you, huh?
Yeah, well, I thought you had a spy up here because yes, we did go in the zoo last night, and yes, I'm a little slow this morning, but things are. I was sitting on hold listening to your traffic report, and somebody shot a couple of fireworks off, and I'm not sure if they're just drunk and they thought it was still last night, but there's cars on the track and people are shooting off fireworks in the zoo.
That's the experience up there, right? That's how it goes.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it is. We circle this every year. I've talked to you guys about it. It is an incredible event. It's much more than the drag race. And people talk about it for a year, and they book their vacations to come up here. And you can tell. You roll into the zoo, and there are people that have been working on their zoo vehicles for darn near a year. And it's pretty awesome.
It is an absolute riot. I try to mention it every year that it's probably the best party Minnesota sees. Year after year after year. I spent 25 straight years coming up there to see you folks in the NHRA, and if you don't know, you gotta try it. You'll go back. Trust people like Josh and Ron and myself. You'll never be the same again after spending a few days up at BIR for the NHRA Nationals. It's the best. So the folks are already, one day kind of blends into the other up there, Ron. They don't know what time it is. They're shooting off fireworks. They don't care what time it is.
They don't care. It is like being on another planet, literally. It is so fun. And I tell people all the time, if you buy a ticket to the drag races, and it's like going backstage to a rock concert. Your pit pass, your ticket to get in gets you anywhere. So it's not like going to a football game or a NASCAR race where you go to your seat and you hang out. You literally, I'm sitting here. We stay at the track in one of these condos right by the starting line, and I'm up on the third floor, and I'm watching. We don't run till 3:30 today, and there are people all over this place wandering around. It's pretty awesome. Cool.
I just found a Facebook group that's called I Survived the Zoo at BIR. And it has a few thousand members, and looks like they all share stories and stuff about times they've had and things they've done.
I've got a can koozie from those people.
Do you?
I must have bumped into them years ago. I got a can koozie. I still drink beer out of that damn thing. I Survived the Zoo. I wonder what year that's from. I mean, I'd have to go home and look. I wonder, because I'm sure that those folks have been going up there for decades like me and my pals have. So that's all a blast, Ron Capps. So how fast you getting down the track these days, Ron?
Man, we've been pretty good. Since I talked to you guys, this is how fun it is. I became a team owner last year.
Right.
If you remember that conversation.
Yes.
We went on to win a championship my first year as team owner last year.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations.
And we'd actually won the world championship the year before. So for the first time in over 20 years, actually since John Force did it, somebody went back-to-back world championships in funny car, and I was the lucky person driving that race car.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's been good this year. It's been really good, and the weather, oh my gosh, it's going to be perfect weather up here for both the race cars and the fans.
Well, it's gonna stay relatively cool up there today, right? And that's when you guys can really grip the track, and that's when records are set, Ron Capps.
Yes.
So,
a little bit of cloud cover, which we're going to see a little bit of warm temperatures tomorrow. But the cloud cover will keep the track cool, like you said, and it's going to be this track actually has held world records, speed and elapsed time, several times. So it's a very good racetrack.
Second year as a team owner, and we probably had this conversation last year, but what are the pluses and negatives of being the boss?
Oh my gosh, I don't have a life anymore. I thought I gave up just being a driver and showing up and flying in with my helmet, and I did that for 20-something years, and I didn't realize how much is involved. But it's been fun. I looked at the Donna Snake Perdomes, the John Forces, all the people that own their own teams, and I'm very happy. But I've had a few issues where I put the helmet on and got ready to get in the car, and I started thinking about the business side of things, and I've gotten beat on hole shots.
Okay.
And things like that. So I just need to learn how to separate the two. Other than that, it's been wonderful.
People treat you a little different? Maybe call you sir a little more often?
Yeah, it's weird to walk into my pit area and look up and see the Ron Capps Motorsports on the trailer. That still blows my mind because I'm still I remember coming to Brainerd as a crew person on an alcohol dragster years ago because I was a crew guy before I drove. So it's very, very strange sometimes to see my name up there.
Yeah, and you got a lot on your mind. I can see how it would creep into, even how many people on your team are present on race day when you crew and mechanics and how many people are all collectively together on your team on
We've
race
got
day? Hundreds?
11 total. No, 11. But then we also have a huge hospitality tent, and that's where the fans see the VIP people next to our tent. Those are our guests, our customers, and all of the, like Napa Auto Parts, my sponsor, and Toyota. We have all those people in there. So there's another additional probably 15 people working hospitality. But, yeah, just on the team, it's about 11, so it's not too bad.
What would you do as a boss, Ron Capps? What would you do if a member of your team missed 20 days of work in 7 months? What would you do?
What did I miss? What did I miss?
Well, we're missing a member of the program this morning. And because she couldn't make it. This is the 20th day she's missed in the last 7 months.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked because you're the boss now, Ron. I mean, how would you handle a situation like this?
Well, last year you guys threw the Fast and Furious stuff at me, and I had to dig deep, and I had to try to play both sides here, and I haven't met her, so I can't judge the 20 days.
Okay, 20 days.
20 days.
Yeah.
Well, in this day and age, since COVID, there's been a lot of strange things. So, I'm going to side with her on this one.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's why we ask, right?
But say if one of your employees, Ron Capps at Ron Capps Racing, is sloughing off, are you like a manager in baseball? Do you have an office that you call them into and have a little conversation?
No, it's funny. Nowadays, you do it on the phone more than you do anything. I live in California and our shop's in Indy, but I have a good manager.
Okay.
And so I kind of push that off on my manager. He's become my HR, and he handles some of that kind of stuff.
Oh, man. What did we do Fast and Furious related last year? I don't remember this. Dana, this must have involved you.
Yeah, I think he asked him as a real legitimate race car driver what Ron thought of the over-the-top and ridiculous Fast and Furious
I think we were talking Fast and Furious 27 or whatever number this is.
I know we talked a little bit about your movie star good looks and your acting career.
Oh, boy.
Uh-huh.
Where are we going with this?
No, we did. Well, I know where we're going with this now. Have you seen Barbie, and what did you think?
Your thoughts?
No, I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild, so we're on strike. So I'm trying to support my fellow actors. I'm going to wait till it comes out on Netflix. How's that?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the same.
Oh, man. Really, honestly, are you a member of the Screen Actors Guild?
Yeah, I am.
Because all you have to do is one or two, and then you're in. I mean, refresh our memories. How many movies have you been in?
You got to do things once in a while. We shoot a lot of different spots as well. You do commercials and things like that, and it keeps you in the Screen Actors Guild. The best part about it is every wintertime around Christmas, you get to vote for the SAG Awards. So you get these movies that are in the theaters sent to you, and you get to watch them at home, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really? Is it one of those deals where your name pops up every once in a while so they know whose copy it is?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
in case it ends up on
and
YouTube.
You feel like there's going to be a federal agent knocking on your door.
Yeah.
Because you got because we'll have a few family members over and we'll watch it. And we're probably not supposed to do that, but it's kind of fun knowing that people have to go to a movie theater and you get to watch it in your house.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow. Have you seen any great ones that we wouldn't even know about just yet?
No, what's funny is it's all those small movies that you don't hear about that end up winning the award, and most people go, what is that movie? And then when they do see it, they go, oh my gosh, it's a great movie. So when it does come out, you have no idea, and it's usually, a foreign film or something, and you end up watching and you go, man, that there's a reason that won awards.
There you go. Speaking of movies, earlier, Ron, we were talking about action movies, and specifically we were talking about, killer lines from heroes in action movies, yippee-ki-yay, mother effer, and this and that. So if you could give us since we were talking action movies, who would be your favorite action movie character? And maybe a least favorite also, and why? Like, say, I did the Yippee-Ki-Yay gimmick, that would be John McClane from Die Hard.
Yeah.
Your favorite action movie character, and maybe one that really didn't grab you.
My favorite is Pee Wee Herman.
God rest the soul of Paul Rubens.
He did go on a hell of an adventure.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and my favorite quote is, "I know you are, but what am I?" Remember they had James Brolin do the little cameo, and he was dressed as Pee Wee at the end of the movie?
No.
At the end of the movie, actually Pee Wee sees the movie of his life come out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
James Brolin is actually dressed as Pee Wee, and he and his, James Brolin look and face is, "I know you are, but what am I?"
Oh,
and
damn.
Yeah.
James Brolin.
Yes.
Is he still with us?
Well, yes. And Don Perdone, when I drove for Don is very good friends with, he calls him Jim Brolin, because those kind of people, famous people, they call each other weird first names like Jim.
Right.
And so we went to the set of his show he was shooting at the time. And this is like, he's married to Barbara Streisand, right? It's
oh, my God.
very strange for me to be around them. And it goes back when Snake was friends with him and Steve McQueen, before he passed and all that. So pretty cool stuff to be around a legend like that. Yeah. But I'll never forget walking on the set of it and meeting Jim Brolin. And every bit of, like, just a man's man, like, you're like, wow, this guy is, he's what you see in the movies. It was very cool.
That is really cool. I remember James Brolin. I hope I'm not making a mistake here, but when I was a kid, I loved the Amityville Horror.
Oh.
And wasn't that James Brolin played the lead
I don't
role?
know, but
the Amityville?
I never saw the original.
It was James Brolin and Margot Kidder, I believe, were the mother and father in the Amityville Horror. Tell me I'm correct about that, or else am I making a fool out of myself in front of a member of the Screen Actors Guild here?
I just remember that movie scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
You were right, Nick.
James Brolin. Remember that, Ron Capps, when they opened the gateway to hell?
Oh, man. Yeah, that movie scared me. I didn't sleep in my life for a long time after that.
Yeah. You're a big shot.
That's for sure.
That's all there is to it. You're a big shot. So last year we talked, we'll let you go here. We talked about your acting, but I learned something today about you that I don't think we ever have talked about in all the years you've been joining us on the show. I didn't know that at one point or another, you were fully dialed into racquetball.
Yeah, I was. I was actually teaching it. I was an instructor when I first got my chance to be a driver. I was going on weekends. I was playing tournaments, and the other weekends I would go to the drag races, and I was waiting for my big chance to be a driver. And it actually happened here at this track, actually at Brainerd. I was a crew guy on one car, and there was a big oil down or a wreck or something. I was talking to some old guy in the staging lanes, and I had no idea it was a team owner of another car. And the next day he came back and he said, "Hey, I enjoyed my time with you yesterday. How'd you like to get your license in my second dragster?" And it was right here in Brainerd that started my career. And I went and got my license, and the next thing you know, I'm driving for him. And then Don Perdone saw me and hired me, and it's just pretty cool to remember all that here.
That's great.
That is cool.
That's great. So, I mean, you're a damn good athlete then. I remember playing racquetball as a young person, and that would just cook you.
Yeah, that's
right
exhausting.
Away. That's exhausting. You must have had unbelievable cardio.
Yeah, you had to, definitely. When you start getting to be an open player, they start, those serves are like 150 miles an hour. So
my gosh.
The hand-eye coordination, I think, really from that helped me as soon as I got into a dragster the first time.
Yeah.
Because you've got to be so quick to think about things or you could get hurt,
I bet it is.
Yeah, so I really believe the racquetball helped me a bunch.
Did you wear the sweatband around your beautiful hair?
I knew where this was going.
Yeah. The sweatband and the wristbands and all
we
that.
We got to have the matching wristbands.
I don't know. I may at one point maybe had a wristband, but yeah, I didn't. I'm picturing Will Ferrell when you say that, like wristband and headband. And, yeah. No, it was it definitely kept me in shape. That was a good. I grew up wrestling, so after wrestling was done, I had to find something else that get those competitive juices flowing.
That's really interesting stuff. It's always interesting talking to Ron Capps. I'll tell you what, where are you? Second in the points currently in the funny car division?
Yeah, we're second in the points. We won Bristol a few weeks ago. Car's running great, and this is the time that you have to have a good running car. You come to Brainerd, you better have your act together because the conditions are going to be pretty stout. And we do. We got a great race car.
It's going to be an awesome show. We always appreciate you checking in with us, Ron Capps. And if you get more people walking up and dumping our names on you, by God, tell them we said thank you.
Yeah, I will. I appreciate you guys having me on.
You bet. Good luck at BIR, Ron Capps.
You got it, man. Have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you very much.
Ron Capps.
Ron Capps.
Ron Capps.
What a cool guy.
Summer after summer. Every year this time, we get a chance to rap with the guy.
Always in such a bad mood, isn't he?
He's in a terrible mood.
Tough guy to talk to.
He's obviously not the happiest guy. No, that's great. We thank Ron very much.
He's the type of guy that will make you feel like crap about yourself, right?
Well, god dang, there was even some things that we didn't talk about.
Like he's a software engineer?
What the hell are we
Can you let the rest of us have just one thing? Can somebody else have a thing?
Save some chicks for us, Ron Capps. I was going to maybe bring that up, but I can't speak that language. I thought maybe you were going to bring that up, that he's also a software engineer.
Yeah, what the heck?
How do you even begin to compete with someone like Ron? Can you believe this, Josh? Look at this. Look at me. Look at me. I look pretty cool, don't I?
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't comment on your sweatshirt yet.
What kind of sweatshirt am I wearing?
It's an NHRA sweatshirt.
I try to capture the spirit of the thing.
Yeah, you look
for
good.
when we interviewed Ron Capps. Let's keep this nice Friday vibe going by meeting somebody new every Friday here on the Half-Assed Morning Show. We like to dedicate some time to meeting an active or retired member of our armed forces and also donate money in their name to Folds of Honor. Thank you to Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch for giving us this opportunity. Today we're meeting a staff sergeant from the Army National Guard by the name of, cool name by the way, Logan Woods.
Yeah,
Staff
that is
Sergeant
cool.
Logan Woods. Hello, Logan.
How are you, sir?
Well, we're doing all right. How are you?
I can't complain. I'm in Hill City, South Dakota right now.
Well, what the hell's going on over
Well,
there?
sounds like you can complain.
Just a little motorcycle trip.
Oh,
sweet.
Some downtime for Staff Sergeant Logan Woods.
Yep. Got back from some training out in Wisconsin and grabbed the fiance, and we hopped on the back of the bike and ended up in South Dakota.
All right,
Do you get to
first
ride
off,
much? You get enough time to ride?
Yeah, I get enough downtime. I'm National Guard, so it's like being part-time.
Okay. It's really nice to meet you. You said fiance. Well, first, you know what I should do? I should read your nomination. Your sister nominated you, and folks should know if you'd like to highlight an active or retired service member, go to our website, 93x.com, give us their name, tell us a little bit about them, and maybe they'll get lucky like Logan and get to make an appearance on our program. Don't you feel lucky this morning, Logan?
Oh, blessed beyond repair.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's what your sister said about you. Logan grew up with values and respect, honor, and service. He knew at a young age he felt called to serve our country, enlisted in the Army National Guard in the fall of his senior year of high school. Where'd you go to high school, Logan?
St. Peter, Minnesota.
Oh, dude. Your sister went on to say, then went to basic training after graduation. He deployed to Afghanistan in August 2020 as part of Operation Freedom Sentinel. In addition to being a dedicated serviceman, Logan is a loving and devoted son, brother, fiance, and uncle. He's the coolest tattooed barber and an avid listener of our program. Thank you for all that, and thanks to your sister for throwing in the nomination. What's this fiance business?
Well, so I met a girl and kind of want to keep her for forever, so I decided to put a ring on her finger.
I'll be damned.
How long have you guys been together?
It'll be a year on Monday.
Is that right? When are you fixing to get hitched?
The 1st of October.
Oh, it's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming
up.
Tell us a little bit about the bachelor party.
So that's actually part of why we're out in Hill City here. We're not doing a rager with the boys or her going out with the gals. We decided to just take our families out here and spend a couple days in the Black Hills.
Well, there you go.
Always wanted. Have you been to the Black Hills before? I've always wanted to go. It's on my bucket list.
I have. This is my first time, and it's worth the trip.
Yeah, because that's a far drive, isn't it?
Yeah, if you can handle I-90, once you get to Wall, it gets pretty beautiful out here.
Oh,
Okay.
Great.
I didn't think that most folks were tough enough to sit on a bike all the damn way out that away.
Well, I don't want to speak ill of anybody else.
Well, we got a tough guy on the phone here. I love the photo, and I'm not sure whether or not, Logan, you sent this to us or your sister, but the photo of you, it looks like you're deployed.
Yep.
And you have a broken Stratocaster that you broke like you were a member of a rock band, The Who or something like that.
Yeah, so that was just a cheap Donner guitar that I had. It was one of the few guitars that would actually ship to Afghanistan just off of Amazon, and I was playing that while I was there, and the day I left country, I lit a stogie and smashed it.
That's awesome. Do you play much? Are you a musician?
I try to be, not as good as I should be, but...
That's not easy, is it?
You have a favorite guitar player or a band?
Ooh. I mean, I grew up loving Slash.
Oh, yeah.
It's just hard to compare him to anybody else. He's an absolute magician on the six string. But oh gosh, now I listen to more. I'd say Ben Bruce from Asking Alexandria is a pretty phenomenal guitarist.
Ooh, Wapple, isn't that a band that you dig?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you're a big fan.
Wapple's an Asking Alexandria fan.
What guitar do you play? What do you have?
Right now I have a Epiphone Prophecy Series Les Paul.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I've always wanted a Les Paul or an Epiphone Les Paul. Those are cool.
Yeah.
Nick's got a Les Paul.
I do have a Les Paul. I have no idea how to play it, but I do have a Les Paul.
It's an awesome one.
Staff Sergeant Logan Woods, I do, and it's for sale.
Oh, I'll buy it.
Well, maybe we can talk offline.
What if we started a cover band? Do you have enough time available in the Army National Guard for the three of us, me, you, and Josh, to maybe play some gigs at Medina Ballroom or something like that?
Oh gosh, I don't know. We'll have to see.
I have no stage presence. Does that change your mind at all? Absolutely
Not
none.
a bit, because I'm lacking it also.
Maybe. Well, Nick would cool it up, but maybe that could be our whole gimmick.
We can call our band the Mannequins.
Yeah.
There we go.
The standstills.
Looking like the animatronics from
Or like a Chuck E. Cheese? Yeah.
Yeah, from
Or
a Chuck E.
circus.
Cheese. There you go.
Oh, man. Well, it's been wonderful talking to you, Logan. And, you know, there's something or another in here about if you were to touch on any advice. I'm looking at your bio is what I'm referring to, a bio that someone made up on you. Any advice for someone who's looking to get involved in the armed forces, for a guy who's been there? What would you have to say about that?
I would say if you're looking to get into it, do it for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the benefits are great if you plan on using the college benefits, but there's got to be a certain level of duty to serve there. And if you fit that bill, join right up.
Copy that. Hey, man, have a blast out there in the Black Hills with your fiance. Congratulations on all that.
Thank you. Thank you.
As they say, rubber side down.
Indeed.
And mad respect for what you do. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Staff Sergeant Logan Woods, have a good one.
All right. God bless.
Yeah, and I'll tell you again, if you want to get a family member or a friend, active or retired member of our armed forces, involved in our Friday segments here on the Half-Assed Morning Show, go to 93x.com. And thank you again to Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. We're batting 1,000 with this gimmick so far.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone we meet is terrific. It's been outstanding.
So, Nick, do you remember at least my last memory of St. Peter, the last time we were in St. Peter?
Whenever you bring up St. Peter and you and I, it's maybe when you were driving 175 miles per hour in a 55.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we were up there, and we weren't paying any attention. All of a sudden, you looked down and went, oh, my God. We were doing like 140.
We were.
And it was like 3 in the morning. Nobody was on the road. Not that this is a good excuse.
No. Yeah.
And I know troopers and cops are going to laugh at me, but I was unfamiliar with the vehicles, like this little hot rod my girlfriend at the time had. And this cop could not have been nicer. St. Peter Well, I guess I don't know if he was a sheriff or to St. Peter have their own police force.
I think he was a town cop.
I thought so as well.
But this is a long time ago.
It was.
Long enough time ago where I think this was fresh after that tornado.
It was. That's what he even told us.
Had torn the ass out of that town.
It was
But
right
yes,
after that.
So the world's nicest cop pulls you over.
Yeah, and he's like, I tried to give you guys a break. You were going so fast. And he wrote me for like going 4 over, right? And we were, you looked down, didn't you see it was like 140? It was insane.
How do you know when you're in love? When you are so dialed into conversation with somebody, you don't realize you're going 135, 140 miles an hour.
Neither one of us realized it at all.
It's incredible. And Josh, I looked at the speedometer and I hollered. I said, "Oh my God!" And then we saw the cherries spinning.
So, and this cop, again, super nice guy, and he's like, listen, here's the deal. I probably would have just let you go. I would have pulled you over and gave you a warning, but we just had these tornadoes. And he's like, we got to fundraise somehow.
Yeah. That is
and
true.
I was more than happy to pay that ticket.
Absolutely.
Dude, he could have thrown me in jail or something like that. Although we would have got out of Vikings training camp.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Maybe he wasn't as nice as I had thought about him all these
I always
years.
hated that gig. Whenever we used to go through St. Peter for hockey tournaments, we'd always stop at a joint called Blashko's. If anybody in our listening audience knows that joint, we'd always stop there for a couple of cold ones. St. Peter's a nice town, and it obviously produces nice people. An example there was Staff Sergeant Logan Woods.
Wolfpack Softball Jesus said of our band, Logan and I both apparently don't have any stage presence. He said we could be called the original rock bland.
Rock and roll bland, everybody's singing. Remember the old Boston song, Wapple?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And dump load operator Jesus. He wanted to send some well wishes and a speedy recovery to the significant other of I'll Always Walk with Elias Jesus, a friend of the program. The family's going through a tough time right now. I'll Always Walk with Elias Jesus is always good for some hilarious texts.
Yeah.
So, of course, we send our love to you and your family as well. Happy birthday to Harrison, turning the big 07 from Dad, the one and only priority truck driver Jesus. Happy birthday to Riker, turning the big 09 from your dad, Army mechanic Jesus. Happy 41st birthday to Cubby from my Sandy Jesus, from Hoof-Arted Jesus. Happy birthday to Nick at TA's Automotive in Minneapolis from Claim Juice Jesus. And happy birthday to Big Dano 1985 from Mountain Mayhem Jesus.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
It's savings on a stick season with Standard Heating and Air Conditioning State Fair specials. Savings from $30 on a tune-up all the way up to $950 on a new cooling system. Visit standardheating.com/offers for details on all their State Fair deals.